Be in the house. All right.
I went against the odds. It's only one rose.
Yo, Ticket.
What up?
Right from the top, there's rumors at the moment that your man James Harden wants to go play for the Suns.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Now we gotta talk about it. We have to. It's a must. I want to know everybody's thoughts and feelings.
Oh my God,
bro! I'm not gonna lie. I don't get this. I really don't understand.
I get it.
If those rumors are true.
No. I get it.
What is it?
Him and KD do.
Oh my God.
That's what him. See, y'all wonder why I be cooking these dudes three the hard way. Everybody on YouTube get mad. This is what they do. They get coaches fired when they fail. They get coaches fired. They jump from team to team to team. This is the chain gang stuff they got going on. Now, see, my boy Grilltown got mad at me yesterday when I told him on the show that LeBron gonna be picking their teams, but he ain't the only one that be doing this stuff. KD, James Harden, all these.
Now we talking.
Fired. He talking about he ain't gonna play for Doc no more. What is this? You scored 9 points in the closeout game, but you refuse to play for Doc Rivers again. If I was Doc Rivers, I would refuse to coach your sorry ass again. To be honest with you. But see,
no, he just got fired, so he doesn't have a choice.
This type of foolishness that's going on, and again, it's like Elder said, it's the blind leading the blind. He's already told you he ain't no leader, so you already knew what James Harden gonna do. He gonna go right back over there, because that's what he wanted to do in the first place. And this is crazy. If I'm KD, I'm thinking to myself, now I went to Brooklyn, and this guy, I had a great team. That team he had when he first went to Brooklyn, they could have won a chip with that team they had. They had all the people set up. He traded all those guys, moved every last one of those guys to go get Harden. You get Harden, and it backfires on you. And as soon as things go left, what does Harden do? He jumps ships and goes to Philly. He jumps ship. Now, you guys both fail, and y'all want to get him back over there, linked up with you, this time with the Phoenix Suns, like it's going to be anything different. Man, these dudes are a joke. This is why I told y'all, I don't respect this era. I don't respect how these dudes, and I'm going to tell y'all something. Steven Jackson said something that was so true. These dudes don't really want to compete, bro. They don't want to compete on defense. They don't want to play defense. They don't want to compete. They out here letting dudes score. It's sad. I hate to watch this era, bro, because you do have talented players, but we don't know who's truly great when you got dudes laying down, when you got playoff P out here bowing down to LeBron James, when you got DeMar DeRozan bowing down to LeBron James. Man, that's your enemy right now. That's public enemy number one. We in our careers right now. We battling. We ain't retired. This over with. We having old man throwback talk. No, this is war right now. This is World War V until the shit is over. And when Doc says it's a wrap, it's a wrap. Period. But it ain't over with yet. I ain't heard a fat lady singing. So come on, man, cut this shit out, bro. That's why we can't watch the league. It ain't no competition, bro. It ain't none. That's why I told Mars the other day. Mars was like, "What are you talking about?" This is what I'm talking about. There is no competition. Yo, did you see what Joel Embiid did? Are you seeing what James Harden is doing now? This is why it's no competition. That's why when I said to you, 80 doesn't have competition. This is what I'm talking about. That's what I was telling Chilltown when I said there is no Hakeems, there is no Tim Duncans, there is no David Robinsons, there is no Pat Ewings. Oh, these dudes go Aries on Shaquille O'Neal. These dudes was battling, bro. Them dudes ain't really battling in this era, man. Keep it real, bro. It's the weakest era as far as battling. This is the most probably talented, the weakest era for battling in basketball. Now you got James Harden, titties over titles, cheesecake over teammates. Now he don't fail with Brooklyn. First of all, you quit on Houston. You got an undercover brother fired in Houston. You got the only fired in Houston. That's the brother right there. You got him fired in Houston. Paul Silas' son. Salute to Steven Silas, right? Because you wanted to play semantics and didn't want to play for the man and said, "Oh, we ain't got a good enough team to win." So what do? Then you force your way out. You go overweight and force your way to the Brooklyn Nets. You get to the Brooklyn Nets and then you fail there. Then what do? You force your way out after y'all damn near basically got Steve Nash fired, or basically he was a dead man walking as a coach anyways. Then you go over to Philly. What did I tell him you was going to try to do when you went to Philly? You tried to get Doc fired at first, but it was too early. There was too many people like me and others in the media that was speaking up, so you couldn't do what you want to do, which was get Doc fired so you could bring Mike D'Antoni in there and take the Philly job, which is what you and that sleazebag general manager y'all wanted to do, Daryl Moore. Then what you did was this. Now you get the ultimate betrayal to Doc Rivers because I'm convinced now that he threw that game. I'm convinced that he threw them games to not win. Because now, all of a sudden now, I never want to play for Doc again. And now you want to go team up in Phoenix with KD again? Bro, these dudes is a joke, bro. I can't respect this era, man.
Dub.
Listen, the main thing I was, and Ticket said it earlier, the main thing I'm just really like mad about with James Harden, you had a good crew in the Brooklyn Nets. I think it was last season. Y'all was the top 2 seed in the East when you and KD was healthy. Kyrie wasn't even in the lineup at the time. So y'all had a good chance to contend for a title. To win a title last season, you jumped ship to go to Phoenix. I mean, you jumped ship to go to the Philadelphia Sixers. So in my head, why the hell all of a sudden you switching up now? Oh, I want to go back to play with KD right now in the Phoenix Suns. Bro, you had a very good chance, very viable option to get the goal done, which is to win a championship. And now you're just doing a lot of this. You switching up, you hopping. And I don't want to, be saying any wild stuff today on the panel. So, I'm going to keep it PG.
That's what we here for. That's what we here for.
I'm not trying to get suspended right now. I'm not going to hold you.
Keep it 100, dog.
No, it's just a lot of switching up, It's just a lot of going back and forth between who's, you feel me?
Yeah.
Going from block to block to block. And it's like, fam, come on now. Now you trying to get back with your ex when you were the one that wanted away from your ex. And now you want to get back with your ex. What the hell do you want, James? I don't know what you want. You went to Joel, seen the grass wasn't greener. Now you're trying to get back with KD. And you messed up in 2022 when you just didn't stay with Brooklyn. You just jumped ship, and it's weird. It's just weird.
Yo, quick question. I know you don't necessarily trip off superstars going to other teams and stuff like that, like LeBron's move, KD's move. But in the grand scheme of things, when you factor everything in, if James Harden does this, is he the worst team hopper that there is?
I don't know.
Hey, in middle school, we used to call them homie hoppers.
Is it not is he the worst? Is there a worse one than him? How about that?
I don't know. Maybe I have to go back and check, but this is elite hopping. This is elite blank hopping. And it's come on, fam. Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm fine with people moving around, but seriously, bro, anytime when it's not gonna work, and you were a big part of the reason why y'all didn't get it done versus the Boston Celtics. And now you just trying to jump ship and try to result blame and put it on Doc Rivers, saying I'm not trying to play with him. I can't do it on this team. Come on, fam. Take some accountability, bro. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Mars, Ox, would you guys like to chime in on James Harden's antics?
Doc Rivers just got fired, by the way.
Yes, he did.
So, if Doc Rivers was the problem, I guess James Harden has no reason to want to leave. But if James Harden wants to leave, I mean, it's his prerogative. I don't really care. Wherever he wants to go, it's up to him.
Houston?
We're good
Come
over
on,
here.
Mars.
We're
You don't
good
see
over
a problem
here.
with that,
Yeah,
huh?
he's
straight?
Houston.
Yeah, we're good. He doesn't fit the timeline.
Nah,
We don't need James Harden.
he finna put on that weight suit and come back to Houston.
No, we're good on James Harden. But the other 28 teams, I don't care. Just
You
go.
can teach Jalen Green how to play make.
Nah, Ime Udoka can do that. I trust Ime Udoka's coaching. But I don't care. He's a free agent. If he wants to go somewhere, if he wants to go to Golden State, Phoenix, the Clippers, I don't care. Just go where you want. It's your life. I'm not telling you
Just stay away from Houston.
Yeah, I'd rather just one team that don't go to him. We were the second worst team in the NBA. Like, there's no reason for you to want to come here. But other than that, go wherever you want.
Oh, it is a reason. It's a
no basketball reasons for why he should want to be here. There you go. No basketball reasons.
It's all off the court. But Mars, though, if there's one team though that should be like, we want James Harden, who should it be?
Other than Philly.
Yeah.
Damn.
Phoenix is a great spot
this
for
says
him.
a lot. It is.
Phoenix is a perfect
we'll
spot
get
for
there in a
him.
second. We'll get there in a second. But
I think he could work in. I don't know where he could work. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know where it makes sense.
Outside of Phoenix, in Philly.
Yeah, I don't know where else really makes sense.
Okay.
Mars, you disappointed me, Mars. You
There is no purpose.
You should care. This is ridiculous, bro.
Why
It's
should I
ridiculous.
care?
Because he forced his way out of Brooklyn. He forced his way out of Brooklyn.
I don't
and now
care
he's
that he
talking
did
about being
that.
with KD. Come on, bro.
I don't.
That's
If he wanted
ridiculous.
to leave Brooklyn, he can leave Brooklyn. If he wants to leave Philly, he can leave Philly. Why would I care?
Nah, bro, it's ridiculous. You care about Giannis having fake humility, but you don't care about James Harden.
No, I observed that he had fake humility.
And what's this right here?
This is James Harden wanting to leave teams.
No, it's him. It's him being inconsistent, bro. Come on.
Mars, that's not
Okay,
good
is
enough.
James
Mars,
Harden
that's
being
not good
inconsistent?
Come on,
That's fine.
Come
You can
on,
say it's
Mars,
James
that's
Harden
Mars.
being
That's not good
inconsistent. I still
enough.
don't
Mars.
care.
No, it's not. No, Mars, it's not. Yo, I don't care. That's not good enough, Mars.
Wait,
that's
so
not.
you're telling me I need to care?
Yes, this
Why?
is not good enough because what you're doing is that this is acceptable behavior. If you don't care, you're accepting it. And now this is the reason why we're here.
What would me not accepting it do? Would it change James Harden mind? Would James Harden be like, you know what, Mars? You're right, Mars. Since you are bothered by this, I will not want to ask out. Like he's gonna want to ask out regardless.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Mars, because when you say it's a problem, and then I say it's a problem, and then Dub says it's a problem, and then it permeates throughout everybody, and then everybody starts to hear it. Well, now all of a sudden it becomes a bigger problem. That's why we have the culture that we have in the NBA, which is what Ticket talked about these guys not wanting to compete. That's why these guys jump around the way they jump around. And what we're not going to do is we're not going to let the teams off the hook neither for encouraging this sort of thing, because Phoenix is the one who has to trade for him. And because it's not like he could just leave. Actually, he's a free agent. I'm sorry.
He has a player option.
Yeah, he does have a player option. But it's also the teams that trade for these guys. These are the teams that trade for these guys and enhance this sort of behavior. So let's rewind the clock really quickly. I'm sorry if I interrupted you, Bob. I don't want to step on.
That was my bad. That was my bad. I got
my
bad.
Keep going. We got time.
So what I want to do is I want to rewind the clock back to when James Harden, who I thought had a fat suit on when he was in Houston, and axed out, right? Because Paul Silas was put in a really bad situation. That was a bad team. He axed out. He never wanted to go to Brooklyn. He got talked into going to Brooklyn. He wanted to be in Philadelphia from the beginning. That's where Daryl Morey was. That's where he wanted to go. Only except he got talked into going to Brooklyn. He's out of shape. Not only is he out of shape, that team is in disarray. Even though those three guys work together really good. But as Kevin Durant said, quote, I didn't realize how bad a shape he was in. And this is an ongoing trend with him. So he realizes that it's not working in Brooklyn, which he's a part of, by the way, because if we remember Kevin Durant with the toe on the on the three-point line, if we remember, you are aware James Harden did play in that game. I want to make sure we clear on that. It wasn't just like it was KD out there. James Harden was on the floor too. So it wasn't like he just was missing in action. But with that being said, he gets himself out of Brooklyn, which, by the way, wrecks them, because you get Ben Simmons. Not only do you get Ben Simmons, you got to give up a bunch of picks, and now they're behind. So Brooklyn made a mistake, one, trading for him, because we got to give up Jared Allen, who was the rim protector that they needed. They had to give up a great rotation player in Karis LeVert and a bunch of first-round picks. Then they trade for him, and then they trade him away, and they get Ben Simmons, and they got to give up a bunch of first-round picks. So this is a problem ongoing, not with just the players, but the teams are enhancing this also.
I agree. I just don't get why I have to care about this.
The reason why you should care, Mars, is because once you care, once I care, it's like voting, Mars. If you say something, it might not be a big deal. But if you say something, then I say something, and then Dub say something, then the voices get louder. And when the voices get louder, if you want things to change, that's how they'll change. And this sort of stuff, right?
All people did was criticize KD when he went to Golden State, and everything's gotten worse since then. People have been very vocal. Players are going to do what they want to do regardless. So all the complaints that everyone's been making, the players are still asking out more than they ever did.
Like, Mark, you act like you're not sold on the domino effect of people having, feeling a certain way. Like that's how.
No, you guys can feel how you want, and I have no issue with you guys being bothered by this.
We need
and it makes sense
as well.
But you guys don't have to tell me I must care about this. I don't.
No, what we're saying is this: it devalues the product, the overall product of the NBA.
And I have no issue with you saying that. I have no issue. Okay, carry on.
Let me say this to you, Mars, because you're from overseas. International, the coaches run the teams. Mm-hmm. When an ownership, the general manager hires a coach, it don't matter what the players are making. You could be making more than the coach. The coach runs the team. The coach is coaching the team. If you don't listen to the coach, you ain't gonna be on the team. In the NBA, what they've done is they put so much money in these players' pockets. Now you can have buffoons like Ja Morant. When your team and your coach and them tell you, don't go out and party, stay locked in and be focused for the playoffs, He doesn't care now because he's making so much money more than the coach. He knows that the coach is more expendable than him because his contract is guaranteed. Therefore, he can go to a strip club, pull out a weapon, go make a fake-ass apology, go holler at Jalen Rose with his blowback shape up, make a fake-ass apology on national TV, come out and talk about he a change. That ain't me. I'm a different man. And then 4 weeks later, do the same shit again. This is all of this stuff boils up into accountability from the ownership and the teams to giving more power to the coaches, because if the guys respected the coaches like they used to respect a Phil Jackson, who is in hot water with me right now, like they used to respect a Pat Riley, like they used to respect Rudy Tomjanovich, like they used to respect a Jeff Van Gundy, like they used to respect a Larry Brown, like they used to respect a Ruby Brown, like they used to respect a Rudy Tomjanovich, like they used to respect the great
Mike
Pat
Fratello,
Riley.
Mike Fratello, guys like that.
Heard about this type of foolishness going on because the coaches had control of the team and it was more organized. It was real basketball. Guys came to do their job and compete. And no matter what they was getting paid, they still cared about the product, bro. And they still
not to cut you off, Ticket, but Mars, do you think the KD, like when you hear KD say stuff like, well, I don't care about my legacy anymore, do you believe that?
Do I believe that he doesn't care about his legacy?
Yeah.
Not fully. I think he probably does. I think he cared about getting a championship, which I think whether that's from a competitive standpoint.
Hold on, Ticket.
I think he cared about. I don't think he really cares about how people remember him. I don't think he really cares. And if he does care and he just lied about it, whatever. I'm gonna go based on what you said. He said he doesn't care about his legacy.
See, that's where I'm at, Mars.
Mars. That's a lie. Okay. He do care. He cared about what you said about him. He cared about what I said about him. This blithering idiot cares about what average, everyday people say about him. He will literally make troll accounts. And then when he got caught, he had to come on his real account. He had to be a man and stand on his kahunas and come on his real account and say what he wanted to say. Because see, in the past, with you'd have came on a troll account, he would have been right here in the comments trolling everything you said, and you wouldn't have known that was a real KD. But now, since he got caught, he comes at you on his real account. He come at me on his real account. So he do care. Because if he didn't care, you wouldn't hear nothing from him if he didn't care. If he didn't care,
and Mars, the fact that he cares, the reason why he cares is because of guys like you, the guys like Dub, guys like myself, and the voice gets louder, the stuff that they're doing, and the domino effect that it's creating. So if KD was just loved. If KD was just, do you believe that KD wants to be loved like Scottie Pippen or like Michael Jordan? Because I 100% agree that he does. 100% agree that he does.
We're going in territory.
And the reason why I say the reason why I say that, Mars, is because when you talk basketball, right? People respect your basketball opinion. People respect you as a basketball mind. And when you say stuff like you don't care about this, what it'll be perceived as is you are okay in this sort of thing.
Not even that. You sat here, and I remember wholeheartedly. We sat here, had a long debate about Giannis and his fake humility on what he was talking about, him calling himself the best player in the world, him having fake humility. My thing is, why are you having so much energy towards that? But with James Harden making coaches lose their job, James Harden
I gave my opinion on it, and you wanted to keep debating.
No. Hold on.
If I just gave my opinion and we moved on, I wouldn't have kept harping on it. But you kept asking me more questions. So I had to talk about it.
Mars. No.
That's what happened.
We could rewind the tape.
That's exactly what happened.
It was fake humility. And
yes,
you cared
I
more
did
about
say that
than James
Harden. I never said I cared more about
franchises.
that.
James Harden put in franchises in terrible scenarios, making the Brooklyn Nets get Ben Simmons, who was terrible, with the only viable role player, which was Seth and Curry, and take them away from a winning scenario. Doc Rivers now losing his job. Seth Curry.
We know what you mean, Seth Curry.
My bad.
I'm with you, dog. Keep going.
And now Doc Rivers losing his job because Joel Embiid and James Harden played very bad. And it's like, that should be something that we should care about. We should talk about. And now you're talking about the scenario which you messed up in Brooklyn with Kevin Durant. Now you're trying to get back with KD and Phoenix. That doesn't make sense. That is ridiculous, Mars. That's ridiculous behavior.
Okay. And here's exactly what happened. Giannis said Steph Curry's the best in the world because he's the one holding the belt. But then I said, I view this as false humility because last year you said KD was the best and he wasn't the one holding the belt. You were just trying to say anyone is the best for whatever reason other than calling yourself the best. That's all I said. Then Dub said Dub started making counter arguments about Giannis, blah blah blah. He can view himself as not the best, whatever. I said I just view that as inconsistent. I never said I cared about it. I just gave an opinion on it. If you want me to give an opinion about James
when
Harden,
we talking about James
cool,
Harden,
and I'll
you
give
didn't
an
say
opinion.
anything. You didn't elaborate on anything. You said, I don't care. You didn't talk about anything.
But fine,
about
if you want me to give an opinion,
that's what we want to hear. That's what
me giving an opinion doesn't mean I care.
I don't care if you care. Give an opinion the way you gave an
opinion
about
okay,
Giannis
cool.
right now.
I'll give an opinion about James Harden.
Open gym may be shut down today, people.
I'll give an opinion.
The gym might not be open.
Since you want me to give an opinion about James Harden asking out of Philadelphia allegedly is a bad look.
Why is it a bad look, Mars?
Because of the way he asked out of Houston, because he didn't think he could win. Then he asked out of Brooklyn because he didn't think he could win. And now he's asking out of Philadelphia because he didn't think he could win. At some point, he might have to view himself as the common denominator in all these situations. So therefore, I think it's a bad look for him to keep acting like everything else is the reason why he can't win other than himself. Are you happy now? I gave an opinion. I still don't care.
That's
fine. Still don't care.
At least you gave an opinion. That's all I was here for.
Okay.
All right, fellas. So we talked about James Harden. We talked about the Sixers all around.
What about
Bob needs to talk.
the big fella?
You keep doing this, Ron. You keep doing this.
Yo, right. I'm gonna see you in a few days, bro.
Hey, that's what's about to happen.
You better get it together, bro.
That's what's about to happen, Big Ox. Sound like we might need to come pay around a visit.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna see him regardless. We work together. I'm gonna see him regardless. I'm gonna put him hair boy in the headlock.
You about to get fired from both businesses.
I ain't gonna, like I said, you can buy me out. I'm not opposed. You can buy me out. But
that might be an option.
Yeah, for sure. But no, you know what? I don't even know why I asked it. Well, see, now I'm going back. I listened to that and now I feel dumb because when you asked me the first time, I was about to say like, I don't got nothing to say about James Harden in the situation.
Thank you.
Because my
go cook him. What's going on? Cook him.
Let him finish.
Make an opinion.
Let him finish talking. Y'all keep interrupting him.
You gonna give us an opinion.
Go ahead, Bob.
Well, look, I'm saying though, my mama taught me, see, this was in the 90s, Dub, Mars, y'all had to be there. You know what I'm saying? I was taught, you know what I'm saying, if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Don't say nothing at all. I have nothing nice to say about the bitch assness in the National Basketball Association. Okay? I can't do it. I can't do it. You know? It's pitiful. If I don't know if it's true that he said he wants to go play in Phoenix, that's just another notch of just sucker shit that he's done in his whole.
I just think we gotta hold these teams more accountable, man, because what they do is they just enhance this sort of thing. It's guys forcing their way out, but don't get me wrong. I understand that Phoenix, when they traded for Kevin Durant, this also had to work out. This also had to work out for Phoenix too. This wasn't just the situation where Kevin Durant just goes to Phoenix. This had to work out for him too. But these teams, they do enhance this sort of behavior. They do.
They got to sell tickets though.
So you think they shouldn't trade for these stars who ask out to prove a point that like this is not good for the league? So none of us we're all going to take a stand. And I'm asking. Is that what has to happen? So then, how do we hold these teams accountable?
They should do what Pat Riley did, which is take control of your team. And when I mean take control of your team, you say, look, you're a player. He's the coach. You getting paid your money, but he's the coach. At the end of the day, he's the coach. So when you try to oversee him, he's the coach. That's how you run the organization. You don't run it like, hey, I can go over the coach and over you, because now what you do is you have basically castrated the coach and taken his power away from him. So now anything he says means nothing. This is what we was telling Chilltown the other day what happened with Frank Vogel. What Frank Vogel did was they basically made him powerless. So he was a man who won a championship, who had no power. And so now when you have no power and the players know this, they have zero respect for you. You do the same thing with guys like Monty Williams in the Phoenix Suns. He gets there, he takes you to the NBA Finals, and then what happens? You get into a situation with DeAndre Ayton. Ayton doesn't want to listen. Guys see how the blowback is from that situation. Guys see that, guess what? Ayton bucked back. They still had to give Ayton his money because they couldn't just let him walk for nothing, because if they did, they would have just gave away number 1 overall pick for no reason. So they had to hold on to him. They had to pay him. They had to deal with that situation and still play a guy they know didn't want to be there, but they had to force that situation because now the way the teams are operating, The ownerships are. That's why what Elder said was so important. The people that's cutting them checks, they have to allow the people that they put in power to do their job. You can't be sitting here nitpicking this, nitpicking that. It ain't gonna work, man. And that's what happened with Doc Rivers. The people upstairs basically allowed James Harden and Joel Embiid to run the shit. And what they did was they just did a hit piece on Doc Rivers, especially James Harden. That's disgusting. That's unbecoming. And I'm telling y'all, I'm guaranteeing y'all, I think James Harden quit in Game 7.
Mars, to answer your question, Mars, to answer your question, all money isn't good money. And there are some teams that deal in bad faith. So this might not necessarily help my team. Sometimes it does. But there are some teams I'd rather have him on my crew than you not have him. And a lot of these teams do stuff like that, where they're in a position where they're going to cripple you. And it doesn't necessarily mean it works out for them all the time, but it does work out for them sometimes. But not all money is good money is the point that I'm making. And a lot of these teams, and some of these teams, they do deal in bad faith. And I think that they need to be held accountable also.
But how do you do that? It's all good saying hold them accountable, but how do we go about doing that? Because it's all good saying we need to do this, hold these teams accountable. It's like when we talk about coaches, this coach needs to make adjustments, but then we don't say what adjustments they need to make. We're just saying what has to happen, but then we don't say how it has to be.
I'm glad you brought that up. The reason how we hold them accountable is what we're doing right now. I mean, Ticket, one more time, Ticket for the people in the cheap seats. Who got the best basketball show on the internet?
We do.
And people listen to us, Mars. So like you said, hold people accountable. When you talk about stuff like this, people are listening. When we talk about stuff like this, people are listening. And opinions change, and opinions are influenced by the stuff that not just we say, but the stuff that ESPN says, the stuff that Fox Sports says. So the way you change stuff like that is by having a voice. And our voices are getting bigger because people are listening to us. And not only are they listening to us, they actually are saying what we're saying. And other people hear that like, well, wait a minute. Maybe this isn't right. Maybe they should be doing this. So that's the idea.
If I was teams,
we're sparking a revolution at Players Trace.
Don't fight that, Mars. Don't fight that, Mars.
Which is true. That's what happens. That's what happens, bro. More voices that get together, bro. You can change the world,
I'm tired of carrying you. I feel like Tyrese Maxey.
It has to be like that. And Elder
stick with me. You're going places.
When Elder was talking about that Lakers situation, he was talking about, look, the general manager, sometimes their hands is cuffed based off of what the ownership want to do. If the ownership don't want you to spend that money, we can look at the GM and blame him all we want. But he ain't the one that's cutting the checks. Maybe he want to make this move, want to make that move. If them people don't want to spend that money, or if they're lackadaisical and don't want to come down, because see, I'm gonna tell you something. An owner like Pat Riley, what he would have did was with that situation over in Philly, at the beginning of the season when they came in, he'd have went downstairs and said, "This is the coach. This is the coach. I don't want to hear anything else. Any other problems? You're out of here." Point blank, period. And that would have cleaned up everything. But most organizations don't run like that no more. Most organizations now, you putting so much money into the players. As I told you, Ja Morant can do all this stupid stuff and get slaps on the wrist. Why? Because the organization have so much invested in him that they'll fire a coach. They'll give him slaps on the wrist. They'll trade players. They'll blame everybody else except for the leaders of the team when stuff goes wrong. That's the problem. That's the stuff that Elder was talking about yesterday. And I think Chilltown just thought we was just grilling LeBron, but it's not him. It's not just him. It's all these top dudes that's out here making this money doing this stuff, bro. Because when you give a person with money, power, and control, a lot of these dudes, they don't know how to use it. And so they abuse it. And that's exactly what's been going on with KD and James Harden and Kyrie and them guys like that. They've been abusing it. Go ahead, Elder.
That's the difference between this generation superstars and the generation of old. Those guys still had power as the best players in the game, but what they did when they exercised their power, one thing they still did was show up to work. They still showed up to present the product. They cared about the fans and the fans getting their money's worth, so they went out and got it done. This generation, because they're all business, all they care about is the clicks, because that's what make them business. All they care about is the views. That's what make their money come in. They don't care about actually getting out here and taking care of the people. And the thing is, the generation that's paying it, they don't care. It's what it's done is taking the competition and sport out of the game and made it strictly entertaining. Because you could listen to this Gen Z or whatever you want to call it. You can listen to them talk. They speak towards the entertainment of the game, and that's it. They don't speak towards the love. They don't speak towards the structure, the organization, the camaraderie. They don't speak towards those things that bring us together and make us fans and make us a family and make us care about that. They don't speak about that. They speak about the entertainment. And that's what it's about. And now the entertainment money's gotten so big, and then you got these players that don't care, so they don't have to show up. When they got guaranteed contracts, they don't have to show up. And the way I think I saw Big Ox said in the chat room that the only way you change that is by changing the money. No, what you have to do is hold them accountable. You have to hold them accountable. And I think they're trying, because when you look at like KD, y'all see how embarrassing it got when KD got on the open market. Teams were not willing to mortgage their future for KD. Now they're looking at Phoenix and saying, yep, see, we made a good decision. That's holding him accountable. These guys are doing it, but they're never going to go to that high level of importance when it comes to their legacy because they can't win. They can't win like the old people do because they haven't put in the work. They haven't put in the work.
Miles, what I don't want to do is I don't want to sound like the get off my lawn kind of guy. But Elder just brought up a really interesting point when he just said it's strictly about entertainment. Elder, did we ever say when Dominique Wilkins lost in the playoffs, man, how good would Dominique be on the Celtics? Man, how good would Jabbar be in Boston? How much better would Alex English be if he was playing for the Knicks? We was looking forward to them playing them the next year. Mm-hmm. We weren't thinking, but now, how much better would Damian Lillard be in Milwaukee? No. I don't want to watch Damian Lillard play in Milwaukee. I don't want to see that. But the competition aspect of it, the competition aspect of it,
combo is
the competition aspect of it. Don't get me wrong, it is entertainment, but the competition aspect of it has gotten it's fallen by the wayside. That's a really good point that you made there.
But I agree in the same sense of how you said we have a voice and we're the ones who can hold people accountable. Are we not also responsible for those type of conversations? We always talk about these trade rumors and how these players look in different situations. That's what we do. We talk about these players in different situations all the time. We're going to talk about it. We're going to probably talk about it at this point again. If we talk about if Boston lose, what are they going to do with Jaylen Brown and Jayson? We always talk about that. That's what like 95% of the show is. So it goes both ways. We can hold these owners and teams accountable, but we're also responsible for all this talk that you have a problem with, Elder has a problem with. We do the same thing. We're just as guilty. And so I think we should hold ourselves accountable.
I think you can have a conversation about these things and still hold them accountable. Again, we bring up the topics. We discuss what's on the table. Again, it is entertainment, and we can't just nullify that part of it. We can't. But at the same time, the owners are the ones that really have to hold them accountable and put people in positions and allow them just to do their jobs. The GMs should be the GM. They should be in charge of the team, not the owner. The owner is the owner of the team. They don't run the day to day. Let the GM do his job. And the problem is you got these high dollar players getting in good with the owners. So they're skipping the GM. They're skipping all the management and the powers that be and becoming friends with these owners. And these owners are falling in love with these dudes, or the GMs are falling in love with them. Why? Because you connect to these players, you following the money. These guys will get guaranteed jobs no matter where the players go. And again, it's skipping a step because nobody has to truly put in the work. Nobody has to put in the work. Doing it like this, you swapping and flipping and doing all this, now you're taking the competition out of the game. Then you got the refs doing what they're doing. I mean, to me, the talent level in the NBA is off the chart. I would agree with that. The talent level's off the chart. But the product could be way better. Because we want to see the stars. This is why I didn't pick a prediction for the Western Conference this year. I didn't trust none of the stars in the West. None. I didn't know who would make it through. I didn't.
I do want to read that, though.
Like these ulterior motives they have, I honestly, I can kind of get in a little bit on Harden taking Game 7. Just like we said, what's his name in Phoenix? Ayton. We know he tanked Game 6. We know that. He could have got out there and played. Wiggins did. His injury, what I heard, was way worse than yours. So these guys have ulterior motives, man, and they pushing them. And that's the thing I'm saying that's different from this generation of stars than the old. The old stars, they would get out there. They would feel obligated because I'm making $6 million, I'm making $10 million, I'm making $15 million. Whatever they were making back then, they were making way more than the rest of the players. And they felt obligated to push the product. They felt a part. They felt like it was a collab. Now it's just my business, make my business grow, and I don't care really what happens with everything else.
I also think we're leaving out one of the most important aspects that back then it wasn't nearly what it is today in terms of social media, in terms of money off the court. Your game was what made you. So when we talk about Dominique Wilkins, we talk about Larry Bird, we talk about Mitch Richmond, guys like that. It wasn't commercials. It wasn't sneaker deals. Your game was what made you who you are. And today, one of the main reasons I think why these guys don't want to compete is because I think that they're afraid that they're going to lose that. And the reason why they're afraid that they're going to lose that is because their game is not what made them. That other stuff is what made them.
I would like to say, Mars, because you asked earlier, what should people do to try to fix this problem? One of the main things is stop rewarding these guys when they're trying to force themselves out of scenario, right? You keep putting them in, you keep doing exactly what they asked for, rewarding them for wanting to be out of your team. That's enabling tactics. That's the league as a whole is enabling these guys to sit here and do whatever they want. So that's what everyone's going to do, whatever they want. Stop putting them in scenarios that they want to be a part of. Look for the best options for you and probably put them in a scenario that's not beneficial towards them so that they can know that there's going to be, it's not about what you want, it's about what we want. If you want to sit here and be a part of my franchise, we're doing this together. And the problem with this generation coming up is they don't have that state of mind. It's just all about me. If I'm a part of the PC brand and PC community, it's always going to be us together. I'm going to take pride in us building this together. A lot of these guys don't take pride in the teams and the organizations in which they're a part of anymore because it's just all about them. No, it's not like that, man.
Until you start making clips, making us all look bad.
See, I would agree with that. But I remember when KD asked out a few months ago, I was the one, it was either on the panel or on Players' Choice, I can't remember. I said, KD has 4 years left on his contract. The Brooklyn Nets have no obligation to send him where he's asking to go. If they got a better deal from Orlando, they could send him to Orlando and he'd have no choice. Whoever, I can't remember who it was, so I'm not going to name drop anyone because I might be wrong. They told me that other free agents would never go to Brooklyn because they saw how they handled Kevin Durant and that would ruin their franchise. So, Dub, what you're saying is fine in theory, but I got told that would never work because of how players would view how they've treated their other superstars, so they can't do it. I'm just saying, like,
that's a lot because money talks and BS walks. So at the end of the day, money is still going to be the same. If Brooklyn goes to a free agent in Brooklyn, New York, and they got this amount of money, and this guy has his mindset on being in a big city and a big market anyways, it ain't going to stop him from going over there. So that's a lie. But
I'm just going with what I was told. Like I was told that it wouldn't work.
A lot of people don't know what they're talking about. Bro.
I heard that same logic too. That's bull jive. The thing is this, bro. The like Elder said, the owners and the GMs and the agents are all in each other's pockets. So now you got a situation like KD. He says, yo, trade me to the Phoenix Suns. Bro, they didn't trade Kyrie where he wanted to go. He wanted to go to the Lakers. Now, we ain't going to trade you where you want to go because we don't like you. But since we have developed a good relationship with KD, since we have a good relationship with KD's agent and his representative, now we still want to be able to pick players from his agent in the future. So we're going to do your guy a solid, and we're going to send him exactly where he wants to go, even if the deal doesn't benefit us, because we're still going to have a working relationship with you going on in the future. And that's the type of foolishness that's going on where we're, like Dub said, we're enabling guys to just get out of situations when they feel go to situations.
I gotta disagree with you, Ticket.
And then call
I gotta disagree with you, Ticket. I don't necessarily look. I understand what you're saying. Like I don't think we should be out here babying these players, but to a certain extent, I'm not mad at the Nets if Kyrie was being
no, I'm not saying it's a problem.
A jackass.
No,
but what I'm saying, Ticket, I'm not mad at them for working.
Let me rewind that. Okay. I didn't say that's a problem. I said that with Kyrie, because they didn't like him, they sent him wherever he wanted to go. But because KD, I was just speaking to Elders in Chill's point, and his team had formed a great relationship with the ownership and the management, and how KD had carried himself with them. You know what they said? We don't want to ruin our personal relationship, working relationship with your representation, because you got KD. That means he might have another superstar down the line that wants to sign with KD.
Yeah, and that's I got you on that. I'm saying I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Like if
hold on. I am mad. I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad at that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad at that because now what we're doing is we're setting a precedent that if you get into a situation and you don't like it, you can do what James Harden did. You can do it in Houston. You can do what KD did in Brooklyn. That's not right, bro. Especially when, at least I will say this about LeBron James. He didn't do that. He played his contract. And then he left. He played his contract and then he left. These dudes are forcing him. James Harden had like 2 or 3 years left on his deal when he left Houston. KD got 4 years left on his deal when he asked out of Brooklyn. Come on, bro.
Let me speak to what you saying and what Mars is saying. Because I'm pretty sure I was the guy that said that. And I want people to understand the context behind how I'm saying that. When you're already in it, you really have no choice. When you're in it, when you have that player on your team and they start with this generation, when they start making these type of demands, let's look at what's going on down there in New Orleans. Let's use that as an example. Look how Zion is trolling that organization. I'm 99% ready, but I ain't getting on the court until I feel like Zion. But then you go out when your team needs you the most, during warm-ups and do 360 dunks. That's a legitimate troll. What do you do in that situation? See, he's on your team. Now you have no choice because you got to do what's best for your organization. He's not going to get on the floor and play. If he do go out there and play, he may throw the game. This is how these dudes work. They don't have the integrity the old guys have. But if you're a smaller market team or a team that's not as attractive, like Brooklyn's in a big market, but you don't see superstars flying to Brooklyn. You have to take care of these guys to make sure that you have an opportunity for superstars to come back. One of the reasons people love LA, it ain't just because of the weather. I mean, the Lakers, not LA, the Lakers.
They treat their superstars well.
In California, y'all.
The Clippers is in town. The Clippers been in Los Angeles for quite a while.
But it's also the Lakers have a history of just taking care of superstars, even if it means they got to take 2 years. You know what I mean? They're going to take care of superstars. So guys look and say, I can go to LA, the best franchise, and be in the best weather, and get taken care of, no matter what. That's good business. But what I'm saying is hold these dudes accountable. I thought the league held Brooklyn accountable. Brooklyn has to do what KD says, right? Because they have him. He's with them. But the league held him accountable and it said, show us what he's worth. And the league said, he's worth 2 bags of peanuts and some roasted boiled peanuts. That's it. When they put them trade offers out there, it pissed KD off. Look at that offer. What did Memphis say? We're not giving you our first, second, or third best player. We may consider throwing in a trade package. For a superstar like KD, that was totally disrespectful. That's why he went and signed the next day. That's what I mean by holding them accountable. Like, to me, I can't be a hypocrite. If I'm in the seat of New Orleans right now, because that's one of the biggest superstars in the game is Zion Williamson, right? If I'm in their seat, seeing what he's saying, knowing that he really don't want to be there, I move him. But it don't benefit me to move him and say, well, because I got this one player that's better than this player that New York offered, I'm going to send him to Toronto. Look at the teams and what has happened with them. I'm going to look forward to seeing what happened with Brooklyn for the way they treated Kyrie. I've seen what happened to the Spurs for the way they treated Kawhi. You don't benefit when you do stuff like this. Everybody needs to benefit. It's a collab. Y'all in business together. So I'm not telling you to take a nothing deal, but at the same time, if the deal is decent, put that deal together to keep them happy. Everybody looked at the deal that Phoenix did. Everybody thought you could have got a better deal than what Phoenix gave. But the key is KD only wanted to go to Phoenix. That was a good deal for Brooklyn. That was a good situation for Brooklyn and for Phoenix. But guess what? Superstars are saying, you know what? Kyrie kind of on some stuff, but at least they took care of KD. So there may be a chance for a superstar. I'm not talking about these B-level or low A-level players that will go to a place like that just because they're making more money, overpaying them. I'm talking about the superstars of the league. When they got the cream of the crop of the choice, you want them to think about you. And if you out here sending boogers to Baghdad, they ain't coming to you. You sending boogers to a whole nother country because you, quote unquote, mad at them. You ain't finna get no superstar.
That's bad.
And that's what I'm talking about.
That's bad.
That's so spiteful.
That's bad business.
That's where we at.
That's bad business.
All right, fellas, we got to go ahead and transition. I do want to kind of talk about the coaching culture. We talked about this a little bit last episode, but it's a couple coaches that are in a limbo, and it's a couple teams that Well, you need a coach. So Doc got fired. I want to know where is a good landing spot.
Taiwan.
If there's a good landing spot.
Taiwan. Dwight Howard said it. Dwight Howard said it. Get him over to Taiwan.
Let Ticket answer that. He's a Doc Rivers fan.
Yeah, Ticket can go, but Taiwan is the answer. Taiwan is the answer.
Go coach Dwight or DeMarcus?
Dwight. Right. Dwight Howard called him over. You not see him? He called over everyone. Let's get them all over there. That's what needs to happen.
All right, like I said yesterday or the day before, Ron. Doc Rivers going to be coaching with me. AAU. He's going to be coaching the AAU team with me.
What you think, Ticket? Ticket with us?
Ticket, you there?
I'll say Ticket TV.
My bad.
Oh, okay.
You said about Doc?
Yeah, where should he go?
I don't think he'd be a problem in Milwaukee. Listen, man. At least
I thought you liked Giannis.
Man.
How many organizations gonna keep signing Doc Rivers? I need to put them out to pasture.
You got to understand one thing, man. You guys dishonor coaches. It's not a lot of coaches that can say they won a championship in NBA history. You understand? And then you guys, Chilltown was sitting up here arguing with me that Doc would have had 2 championships if KD didn't get hurt that one year he got hurt. There's KG. So
they would have won it in 09. They would have won it again.
Right,
KG didn't get hurt. They would have won it again. I think so.
I don't know about that.
Right? So that's a lot based off of injuries and things that could have happened, right? All I'm doing with Doc is, man, is I'm looking at a guy, and I understand Doc, because Doc's old school. Doc is like, bro, you getting paid the money? Go out there and do your job. Because like Elder said, when you got paid back in our day, you did your damn job. The guys that was getting paid that money, Mike and all them guys that was getting paid them top dollars, they was going to go get it done. Dominique, the highest paid players on the team, they was going to do their job. They wasn't having these type of performances like James Harden, Chris Paul and them having the playoffs. T-Mac was having in the playoffs, getting walked down every series his whole career. Paul George doing all this foolishness they doing. They didn't have them type of dudes. Dudes actually came and did their job. So Doc is like, look, you guys are getting paid the most money. It ain't for me to play these bums on the end of the bench and have them do your job. No, you're getting paid $200 million. Go out there and do your damn job. I don't have a problem with Doc doing that. Because if you don't do your job, like James Harden, who's making $30 million a year this year, $30 million, and that's what you put out, and we talking about Doc Rivers, for this man getting paid $30 million, he dribbling the ball off his foot, falling down, looking like the pills, looking like a low budget Khalid El-Amin out there. Get him out of here, bro. And y'all sitting over here talking about Doc? Joel Embiid. Man, Doc made this dude the MVP. He took him from what Brett Brown had and made this dude the MVP of the NBA. Could have been 2 in a row. Could have been 2 in a row. He gets to the playoffs, not only with Doc, he has a history. This man averaging 22 in the playoffs, but you putting up 30 a game for your career and closeout games shooting 27% from the field and closeout games for your career? And we talking about Doc Rivers? No. When are we?
But isn't playing somebody just because they make a certain amount of money, even if they're not producing? Isn't that bad coaching?
I'm gonna say it again.
No, you have to do it though. That's part of it.
What you mean you have to do it?
Hey, Duncan Robinson didn't start playing until like 2 weeks ago.
I'm trying to tell you.
He only started playing because Tyler Hero got it.
Exactly. Duncan Robinson wasn't playing. He got what, 90 minutes?
Bob, when you hurt yourself, you had surgery, right? You got a main doctor that does your surgery, right? And then you have assistants that may assist the doctor in your surgery. They paying the main doctor to do your damn surgery because he know what the hell he's supposed to be doing. So I don't want to hear about no goddamn assistant now. Oh, yo, you get out the way. I'm gonna do the damn surgery. No.
Okay, no, but let me rebuttal that ticket. Now you 100% correct. The surgeon needs to do the surgery. Now since you're using the doctor analogy, I'm gonna keep going with the doctor analogy. If there is a qualified nurse, a qualified aide, somebody that is qualified, and they're not supposed to be doing the surgery, but they see that maybe this doctor was on the graveyard shift with us last night, filming all day, and he a little drowsy, I would be more than happy if they stepped in like, hey doc, let me help you out a bit.
I understand. You know what I'm saying? Bob, I understand. Now let me ask you this question, because now I'm about to.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Eat your ass. I'm about to.
Well, you don't got to eat to me. I was just asking a question, brother. You don't got to.
I'm about to grand slam your ass.
I don't think I deserve that, bro.
Let me ask you a question. Is Yang the answer?
Is who?
Yang.
Maybe
is
so. He could have been. He
the answer.
I think Montrezl could have got a couple minutes. He could have brought a spark to the team.
Read the answer.
Hey, don't just let B-ball pool.
Ticket, yes. To answer your question, Ticket, yes. Yes, you got. Well, look. What I'm saying, all I'm saying is it couldn't have been much worse than what Joel and James Harden was doing. As a coach, I'm like, man, if these brothers don't want to play some basketball, I'm gonna try something out, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like, I understand to make the big bucks, and I understand that you're supposed to play your high-paid players. I'm not trying to refute that. All I'm saying is, if you see that the Celtics are about to walk us down from 3-2, Doc got to try something else, bro. That's all I'm saying.
The thing about y'all conversations with Doc,
yeah, you're right, Elder. It definitely has to work. But he got fired anyway,
or you signing your own pink slip if it don't work.
I'd rather sign my own pink slip than let Joel and James Harden sign it.
This is why people love. This is why the players love Doc Rivers. He understands.
James
You're getting paid to do a job. Hold on, you're getting paid to do a job. Go do it. And if you don't, I've given you the opportunity to show up and get it done. It's really not my fault because you were paid as the top surgeon to go in there and dissect these dudes. You didn't do it. So they can look and say, well, at least Doc did his job. Now, if I put some dude, if I'm paying $40 million to him and I put some dude in that's making $6 million, I'm not paying him to be the surgeon. I'm paying him to assist the surgeon. That's what I'm paying him to do. And if he goes in and don't get the surgeon job done, I'm looking at the coach saying, why did you have the guy I got $40 million invested in sitting on the bench? Well, he wasn't playing well. That's okay. Some surgeons have bad days, but they recover quick. See, a superstar.
But it's game 7, though, Elder.
So what's the role of the coach? Just to put the best players on the court. That's it.
No, that's not the role of the coach.
So what is Doc Rivers' job?
No, what I'm saying is this: when you got to look at this from a business standpoint, if you have a player playing bad and he's good, that player, if he's making that kind of money, the superstar, we're talking about the superstars, y'all. Harden's a superstar. That guy's supposed to recover and get back in there and get it done. He's supposed to recover faster. There's never a time where I should sit here and say, I need to bench my superstar.
You got to know your personnel, though.
I can agree with that, but shouldn't Doc Rivers put him in better positions or put Joel Embiid in better positions? I need to move him.
Now, he don't have to play the whole 48, but when I put these other guys in, I can't put them in a position, and what's what Ticket's saying, where they have to do what he does. They can't, if I'm paying them to play 20 minutes a game, it's not their job to go in and play 38 minutes a game. That's a different role. And that's all. That's
cookie cutter coaching, Elder. That's cookie cutter coaching.
It's not. I'm gonna tell you this: when you do that, you get fired and you get blacklisted.
He's fired anyway.
You have to listen to what they say. Well, again, though, he's been with them. Like, hold on, how many years does Doc River have left on his contract? Anybody know?
He had 2 years left after this, but
he won't coach this year. Doc Rivers finna get paid. He finna go home and chill, bump the stress on it. He just finna get paid again. You have to ride with the superstars because owners are looking at it as, I got $47 million sitting on the bench. I got $40 million sitting on the bench. And then if you put in a guy you think that's better than him right now, and he don't produce, like I'm saying, you automatically doing it. You're automatically.
But they're not superstars.
But what if he does? What if he does produce? What if you put someone in and they do produce?
You get the credit for it because you made the adjustment as a coach.
That's the purpose of coaching. We're
here together, chill.
Fellas. We went down a crazy rabbit hole. All I did was ask, where do you see Doc playing next year? Or coaching next year? Or do you not see him coaching next year? Now, Elder said he's going to be at home chilling.
He'll be home chilling.
With something fine. Mars said he's going to be in Taiwan with something fine. Now, I need to know, where do you guys think he's going to be?
Go ahead, Chip.
I think we overvalue Doc, to be quite honest with you, because I don't think we have a lot of coaches that have won the NBA championship. I'm absolutely going to get to it. So I think we overvalue Doc because how many NBA championship coaches have we had are 15 years removed from winning it, and we still value them like that? We don't. I mean, there are coaches who have won, and then they've basically just been average. And I think that Doc would be great on a young team. I think Doc has now turned himself into maybe a stopgap coach where he can develop a young team and turn this unit into something different. And then, quote unquote, Steve Kerr comes in, or somebody like that comes
Mark
in.
Jackson.
And pushes them over the top.
Role.
So like to put Doc on a unit like Milwaukee, we're gonna see the same result. To put Doc on a unit like Phoenix, we're gonna see the same result because that's who Doc is. But if we put Doc on a unit like Minnesota, if we put Doc on a unit like New Orleans, even though I dig what that kid down in New Orleans is doing, but I don't think he should lose his job. I think he's developing that unit. But if he had something like that where he was developing a unit and then he got him this far, and at the end, okay, this is as far as we're going with them, and then move on. That's, I think, who Doc is now, as opposed to continuing to put Doc on units like Denver or Minnesota or Milwaukee and expecting him to win the NBA championship. There is no evidence to suggest over the last 15 years since he's been removed from winning the NBA championship that he's the difference. In fact, what he is what we've been talking about. He's the problem.
Kevin Garnett ain't coming back.
Can I answer this, bro?
Yeah, go ahead.
Number one.
Hold on, Doug. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, fam.
What's Chill's answer? I still did. What should
happen? Yeah, what's the team? What's the team?
A young team like Minnesota, like those type of teams.
Oh, okay.
A team that needs just an extra boost. You never gave a specific team, but those type of teams.
I'm gonna give you the team, but I do want to say this about Doc Rivers, where I do think that both sides are right in a sense, where I do think Doc Rivers' lack of adjustments. I do think Doc Rivers not putting Joel Embiid practicing amongst the season in those low post scenarios. I do think that hurt the team. But at the same time, I mean, I've seen James Harden getting easy open looks, wide open lays. Joel Embiid not being able to take advantage of his matchups with Marcus Smart. I have to hold those players accountable at the same time of holding Doc Rivers accountable. So I do think it's both sides. Doc Rivers on Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic number one wasn't never supposed to beat the Detroit Pistons number one.
Yeah, they shouldn't even have been up 3-1.
They shouldn't. And Tracy McGrady went from, in the first 4 games, playing phenomenal, and he fell off a cliff. So I'm not really looking Doc Rivers in that sense. Playoff P, the dude was missing wide open shots. I mean, like Elder said, I'm putting you in scenarios to be open where you should hit your shots. Hit your shots. I can't control that. So I do think it's and at the same time where Lowe and Mars says you need to put these guys in scenarios to get better. I don't think Doc Rivers has done that with Joel Embiid this year. So I do agree with that. Now for the team which Doc Rivers can be a part of, I think Toronto will be a good fit for him. Building those guys up, Scotty Barnes. I seen what he did on the Clippers with Tobias Harris. When they lost Ben Simmons and it was just Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey in the crew, they were still able to play well without him. I think they were a top 2, top 3 seed that season before James Harden got there. So I do think him on Toronto, building those guys up, like what Chilltown alluded to, being that you said gap coach.
Yes. Like
being that gap coach and building those guys up, I do think he would be perfect in that scenario, 100%.
Yo,
I like it.
And Chill, I just want to kind of piggyback on you saying like he's a gap coach and he should coach like younger teams and build up organizations or necessarily build up the players, actually. I do like that in a sense that Doc, he played in the NBA. He's been around the NBA. He's a player coach, and he can possibly resonate with the players more than other coaches. The reason why I like that is because these players don't have vets. So if your coach can be like a mentor and a vet and a coach, I think that works in a double role, for instance. And I think that he, like a team like Toronto, for instance, they have younger players. Scotty Barnes. I think Scotty can resonate and gravitate to Doc. And I think he can maybe get his message across better than Nick Nurse possibly could.
I'm thinking that you duplicate it. It's a copycat league. If you go back and look at when Doc was successful, the one time he was successful, what kind of team did he have? It wasn't a young team.
Team full of
he
vets.
had a heavy-laden, mature, veteran-laden team where he didn't really have to do a lot of coaching. Those guys did all that on the floor themselves. You see what I'm saying? And then you had a small mixture of some young guys, a young big, a young point, that listened to these dudes. And I think that's the best scenario for him. So I get why Ticket said Milwaukee, because I'm trying to think of teams that have very mature veteran guys that when you put them on the court, they're going to be able to figure things out themselves. You know what I mean? Without having to be coached every single second of the thing and be you know what I mean? I'm good with that. So, yeah, I just, the young dudes, I don't see no success with Doc with that. We've seen him in Orlando. We've seen him in other situations with younger players. they were horrible. He was horrible. So I don't necessarily think he could be successful with young guys. I think if you're going to duplicate the success he had, find a veteran-laden team that's got mature vets. I'm not talking about Dylan Brooks type vets. I'm talking about mature vets. You know what I'm saying? Guys that's going to get out there, be professional, get it done, and that's when I think he can motivate them.
Well, I'd also like to think that when he was with the Clippers, he did have mature vets. I mean, Chris Paul was his leader, 100%. I mean, J.J. Redick had been in the league for 10 years at that point. So he had a bunch of vets and mature guys. Now, when he had that – right, also Matt Barnes. Now, when he was in Orlando, now, of course, that was a young group, but they were developing. They were turning into something. Now, I can't defend a guy whose team – lost 18 straight games. Like, I can't do that. At some point, you gotta have something behind you to go, yo, we're not losing today. And I think that has a lot to do with the players too. But they were trying to do something in Orlando. They were trying to do something and they were developing. I thought that roster was whack, but I thought that he had a gem in Tracy McGrady. But with that being said, I think that Doc, being the point guard that he is, being the leader that he is, you put him around a bunch of young guys. And what I mean when I say young, Elder, I don't mean pups. I don't mean the dude that's a year, 2 years.
Like Houston. You don't mean Houston. Huh?
No. I don't mean guys like this.
I think Houston would be a good spot.
Maybe just a little bit older. Maybe just a little bit older than that.
Toronto's the perfect.
Well, they're on the cusp of becoming something, and I think Doc would be in a good. I think that would be a good situation for Doc because we've already seen him in multiple situations like this, and we've seen what the result is, and there's no reason for me to think that it's going to be any different. This is who Doc is in this situation.
That's why I said duplicate the success, duplicate his past success.
People keep saying Minnesota. Minnesota's not the answer, especially if they keep Cat and Rudy. Any coach that's gonna go there is gonna struggle, bro.
They're mature enough.
Hey, never mind. Let's keep moving on. Let's move on. All right. I was just gonna say what Doc gonna do to Cat, but we don't need to talk about that. All right. We alluded to it last episode, but we seen an explosion on Sunday. Literally an explosion. Jayson Tatum went ballistic, and we still haven't talked about it. So I want to get into this.
Can we please? Can we please?
We got to. How are we feeling about JT?
Chill. I'm not gonna lie. When I seen JT go, it was like 1 for 10 or 1 for 13 in game 6, and I was like, dang, bro, Chill's about to get cooked on the panel, fam. He's about to get destroyed. And that fourth quarter, man, woo! He saved your little narrative about JT, man. And way to bounce back in game 7, but he's not out of the limelight now yet, bro. He still got to go out there and perform. But Jayson Tatum, woo! That fraud watch was coming. It was
absolutely, it was 100%. The reason why we hold these guys, the great players, the reason why we hold them to this high level, because we see it. We see what you can be. We see how good you can be. And when you have performances like you just talked about, game 6, where he's those first 3 quarters, he looked like they found him in the parking lot and asked him if he knew how to play basketball. That's what he looked like, right? So when he has performances like that, it makes it difficult to defend him because you already seen it, and that's the level that you hold him to. That this is how good you can be. So Jayson Tatum, from the moment he arrived in the league, I was a big fan of him because I just saw a player who I thought could be a 20, 25 a game star. I saw all the potential on the offensive side of the basketball. I saw all the potential on the defensive side of the basketball. He looked a lot mature for his age, and he improved every year. Right? He improved every year, and in the process of him doing that, the Boston Celtics got better. So I saw the development of this kid, but we still at a point now. Again, we're talking about a 25-year-old kid who's in year 6. Now, you already know how I feel about players by year 5. All right, by year 5, this is probably who you are, even though I think that you're going to have better seasons, which Jayson Tatum did. He had a better season this year than he did last year. But when I watch his game and I watch his development, him and I said this to you before, Dub, him and Jaylen Brown, they are today who Kawhi Leonard and Paul George should have been. That's who I think that they are today. And when I watch Jayson Tatum, who he reminds me of a slightly less athletic version of Tracy McGrady, and he looks to me like a guy who is becoming what Tracy McGrady should have been. That's what he looks like. That's what he looks like he's becoming to me. And this stuff where we have these up and downs, I can't discount how young he is. I can't do that. But I also can't. I won't give him a pass neither because I didn't do it to James. But I will tell you this: it's coming, and he's getting better. It's just a matter of putting it together on a consistent basis. I'm a huge Jayson Tatum fan. I think he's awesome, 100%.
I agree with you. I agree. It's going to take time for Tatum because, like you said before, and we agreed on this. He was playing in the beginning of the year, his career on a different role. Like this wasn't the same role. So like you said, it's growing pains. You got to get used to it, more acclimated. And I still am not going to write Jayson Tatum off. And I do believe that he can be what you think that he can become, which is a better version of Tracy McGrady. But what if he doesn't? What if he becomes more like PG-13? I don't know, bro. That's where he's really between the lines, where he could be the next version of PG or – what we want him to be, which is top.
Both are very good players. But.
Well, that's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say, Mars. I mean, before the injury, Paul George was turning into something. Paul George was turning into an elite player, one of the almost a top 5 player in the game before he got injured. And that's the other thing about Jayson Tatum. In these 6 years, he's been really durable. That's one of the things you ain't got to worry about with him. He's been durable. He plays just about every night. The thing that needs to change, just offensively, from an offensive standpoint, I think that in-between game has to be more consistent. If that in-between game gets more consistent, I've said this to you, Dub, and I still stand on the logic, because of the defender that he's becoming, the all-around player that he's becoming. Offensively, if that in-between game gets more consistent, I think he's a top 3 player for the next 5 to 8 years.
But Chitchat, is it? I mean, he has mental lapses.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my thing with JT is. It's not so much his game,
right?
His mental lapses. Like I said, his eyes get big as silver dollars and he falls like laundry. So that's why I'm concerned in this Eastern Conference Finals. Right. I've actually went so far to say that I got Miami in 6.
Oh my God!
Now I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be a quick series. Not to move on, but it's gonna be a very quick series.
I mean, I'm not mad at it either way. I don't favor either of the teams. I'm somewhat a fan of both teams. I like both teams, but it's just I can't depend on Jayson Tatum to be consistent the whole time. Right. He will show up, but I need you to show up more consistently. You can't show up 3.5 out of 7 games.
But Bob, if at any superstar who can most afford to not show up because they got a supporting cast that can, catch him and be like, don't trip, we got it for you. Don't you think that's Jayson Tatum?
I mean, that's out of
everybody
left. That's a fair
Boston
question.
Probably have the best
I just
team.
don't want to look at it that way. That's a fair question, Ron. It is, but as being that guy, as these brothers so eloquently pointed out to me earlier, he's getting paid the big bucks. He don't need. We can't rely on the guys that's making $9 million a year, $7 million.
Well,
he just got that All NBA. They about to give him $315 million for 5 years. Well, I don't.
Well, we can rely on those guys. We just can't rely on them as much. Now, to your point, when you talked about not being consistent. Now, when I said a little earlier about him improving every year, you said that him having those dollar sign eyes. Now, Ox, in that game 6 where he went 1 for 13 through the first 3 quarters last year, what do you think would have happened? I think that they are out because I think
the game's done.
I think that would have continued. I'm watching him. There's obvious an improvement there. He sticks with it. Mentally, he stays tough. And then that translates over to game 7. Basketball, I think in all sports, athletes, there's a thin line between confidence and crashing. And I think that Jayson Tatum, his confidence is there more than anything. His game is clearly there. If you watched him in the finals last year, when they're playing against Golden State, he's in stretches where his head is down when he misses a shot or he turns the basketball over. And I'm screaming at the TV, my man, we're not going to stop coming to you. So get it together. I think we're seeing a different dude this year who, when he recognizes that he does something wrong, okay, they depending on me. So I can't just fold up like that, particularly in times like this.
Did you hear what he said after the game? I can't quote him. I can't quote him, word for word. But what he said, he was like, I mean, respectfully, humbly, I'm one of the best players in the NBA.
He is one of the best players.
Keep it up. And I would never. I'm not disagreeing with that. I think talent wise, he is top tier, top seven easy. So I'm like, I need you to. I don't know. Meditate or something. Talk to a sports therapist or something. Get past that mental block real quick.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up.
After he does that, Chilltown, it's on.
I'm glad you brought that up, big guy.
When JT plays consistently, Chilltown, it's bad for everybody.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because it's almost like a parent. Like, all right, well, it was me a little while ago, but now I got this son, and now I got a daughter, I got a family. I got to start acting like that now. That's a sign of maturity. So Jayson Tatum, when he recognizes, yo, I'm one of the baddest on the planet, I got to start playing like that. And I got to start playing like that consistently. I can't have lapses where I disappear. I can't do that. I think that that's another sign of maturity for him. That's why I think that he's just getting better.
Yo, but one thing I do got to chime in and say, though, like, okay, JT had a bad game 6 in the grand scheme of things. He did his thing at the end of the game, though. He finished the way he was supposed to.
Was it a bad game, Ron? I mean, he had a bad shooting game. He had a bad shooting game.
This discussion.
As the best player on the
that's
team.
fair, Mars. That's fair, though. If you play D and rebound and stuff, you know.
No,
he did make up. I'm not gonna lie, he did make up for it in the rebounding. He was defending well. He was passing well too. Like I would say, his scoring was terrible.
But keep going.
Defensive rebounding was.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
As the best player on the team, though, we'll categorize that as a bad game because the first thing we're gonna look for box score watchers.
Talking about LeBron James against 2007.
That's what I'm saying. Because when it was about LeBron James against the Pistons in Game 6, I got told he had a good game because he did the other things. I'm expecting the same energy to be kept for Jayson.
And that's what I'm saying. So overall, he had a bad game, even though he did what he was supposed to do at the end.
You said LeBron
had a good game.
You said LeBron had a good game. So why doesn't Jayson Tatum have a good game?
He had
You're getting cooked. You're getting cooked right now.
As a star, we expect him to do more. But
that's the argument I made. Then I got told.
But hold on. Check me out. I'm saying, the masses will categorize Game 6 as a bad game.
Right.
But Game 7, the way he bounced back.
Because what we're looking at, Ron, in Game 6, all we see is we see 1 for 14. And that looks really bad. That looks terrible, right? 1 for 14. So up into the before the fourth quarter, yes, this does look like a bad game from the naked eye. But if you actually watch the game, I mean, and to your point, Mars, talking about the series, I mean, I believe he had almost a 20-20 game at the 3 spot. I think he had a 24-18 game with 3 blocks. He had a great defensive series. So the same thing when people look at what you were just about to say, Ron, he had 51. We completely leaving out the fact that he had 13 boards in that game at the 3 spot. 13 boards, one of their better defenders. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about a guy just improving all around.
But I also do want to say, though, that I think we put too much weight on Game 6. Reason being is because they just brought up LeBron. We've seen Kobe have bad games. We've seen all of these guys have bad games. And I'm not comparing Jayson Tatum to LeBron, Kobe, or Jordan. But I'm saying if these guys can have bad games, then Jayson Tatum can have a bad game and be a bit inconsistent because there's no superstar in the NBA that's played and been consistent night in and night out.
But we also
scores that are more consistent, but everybody has.
We also can recognize. I also think we can recognize
the more inconsistent.
No, yes, absolutely.
And we also can recognize when a great player is not shooting well, that he can go do the other things and recognize that he does the other things, like Kobe Bryant did in that Game 7 of the NBA Finals, where he wasn't shooting the basketball well and recognized that, we're not going to win with me doing this. So I got to go do something else. And he goes and sticks his nose in there and gets 15 rebounds. So when you have a player like that recognizes that this isn't going to work and I got to do other things, that's what separates those guys from the average player, from the above average player, from the great player. That's where the elite players come in. So when I think about Jayson Tatum as a player, I've said this to Mars in the past. I think that there's 3 levels. I think that there's the number 1 on a playoff team. That's the guy who could get us to the playoffs. I think there's a number 1 on a championship team. I think that's the guy who could get us to the finals. And then there's the number 1. Then there's the number 1 championship contender. I'm sorry. And then there's the number 1 on a championship team. This is the guy we winning it with. This guy right here is going to push us over the top. There's not many guys that are like that. There's a handful of guys that you can say that are like that. That doesn't diminish the guy that's a number 1 on a championship contender because he's still awesome. And you still have to prove that you can win it You can be the guy on a championship team. You still have to prove that, and a lot needs to go into doing that. So I think we're still in that stage right now with Jayson Tatum.
Can we stop the Jaylen Brown allegations, please? Please, can we just cut it out?
What are you saying?
Can we stop? I
know exactly what he's saying.
What are you saying?
I know what he's saying. I know what he's
saying. Jayson Tatum is comfortably the best player on the Boston Celtics.
Bob, are you fighting that, Bob?
I'm fighting that tooth and nail.
Is it because you would like Jason? Is it because you want Jaylen Brown in Sacramento, or because if it wasn't Jaylen Brown, would you still be fighting that?
I mean, if I seen a player that consistently plays the way Jaylen Brown plays, he has the tenacity, he has the heart. He's not scared.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's big to me. That's big to me. I think I value that a little bit more than some of y'all do, I guess, because when I see it in Jason's face, I'm disgusted.
Right.
I'm instantly like, yo, we can't even go to war with Bray. He don't want to fight.
Now, with that being said, Bob,
he don't want to fight Jason.
I
see that.
watch Game 7.
I saw Game 7. We talking about Game 7. They don't. You can look JT the type that, you know, he'll get into it with you, and then he'll be at school, he's in the hallway, and he'll see you and be like, my mama called me, you know.
So he ducking phase is what you're saying?
I think so. I don't know. It's
y'all correct me if I'm wrong.
It's confusing.
I swear this is because Jayson Tatum's light skin. I swear.
That's all.
I was thinking it.
I was thinking it too, but I didn't want to get suspended. But I'm sorry. It's the only reason I think this is happening. It's the only reason I think this is happening.
You can ask Ron. I used to be that way. I'm not like that no more, boss. I done changed my ways. I love all my life.
It's hard to change your roots.
Because I've seen Jaylen Brown. Because you talk about Jayson Tatum having salsa eyes. I mean, I've seen Jaylen Brown go 26 in the first half, and then we don't see him again for the rest of the game. Like, he's gone. I've seen Jaylen Brown go for 16 in a quarter, and then we don't see him again for the rest of the game. I've seen that happen with him. He's done that. So this is not like this is a guy who consistently is balling. That's not true.
No, but is it out of fear? You can see he's still attacking. He's just missing. You can see you've seen times where, and I'll talk about a dark skinned brother, James Harden. There has been plenty of times where James Harden has been in these situations, and you can see he stopped shooting the ball. You know what I'm saying? He shies away from it. We call that dark skin plated. You know what I'm saying? Where you know,
I just think in terms of Jaylen Brown, I think in terms of Jaylen Brown and like their characters, they're like mirrors of each other. It's like damn near the same guy. So like when you're saying like one guy's afraid and one guy's not, it's like I don't see what Jaylen Brown does in terms of character that's so much different from Jayson Tatum. It's damn near the same to me, right? Nice, low key, chill guy, inconsistent as well. I mean, like, we're splitting hairs at this point. Am I tripping for thinking that? Am I tripping?
I mean, I can't sit here and say that, Jaylen Brown's decisively a better player than Jayson Tatum. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about character. You're talking about him being afraid.
If we're talking about that, see that's the part that gives him a little edge to me. I think they're really like day to day kind of go back and forth. Like today, I'm better. I think they're that close. So sometimes I'm better, sometimes I'm better. Jaylen Brown is just more of a dog, more of a killer than me. I like that.
How? Like how? I don't see what you're seeing.
I don't see it, Bob. I wish I could sit here and say I see it, but I don't.
Sunday was the deciding factor for me.
I think he's considered. I don't think it's like this, but I do think he's considerably better than Jayson Tatum.
I got a question. It's outside the Bumpkin Celtics. I'm not talking about them. What's up with this suspension stuff, man? You know, I've been gone for a while. What y'all be talking about? I be sitting in the chat, and then I saw these two talking about they won't be suspended. What's the deal with the suspension stuff, man? What's up with that?
Elder, we don't talk about Bruno. There's certain things we don't talk about. We won't speak about that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off
I thought you were talking about John Moran. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. John Moran suspension. Yeah.
There you go. See, good segue.
There's the thing, Elder. We got company over. We can't talk about it in front of family. So we got company over right now.
Elder, basically,
man, I'm the uncle that spills the beans. I'm the uncle that spills the beans. Elder, Mars got sent to the back room. He got the belt on him. You feel me?
Say it again, Elder.
He just had to get spent.
They had me on tour.
London drop on
Elder, they had me on tour wearing free Mars shirts. like it was G Unit and Free Yayo or something. Mars was in the background hitting this. So
I just been sitting in the chat. I'm like, I've been going for a while. I don't know what they're talking about, but I get it now.
I was going to it. I don't even know what happened.
I thought I'd never seen it, bro. That was the first time Mars had it to him, man.
Hey, Mars, see what it is for me, bro.
Yeah, bro. If you got a sibling and see your brother get beat, you like, dang, bro. I feel you, but I'm glad it ain't me.
I'm gonna tell you like this. There is nothing worse than getting a whooping after my sister. Boy. Oh my God, she had my mom so bad. You get the running movie and put your hands.
You know why she mad? You know why she mad?
And I'm like, no, there's no way I gotta go after her.
The reason why your mother mad because she got to whoop you too. That's why she upset. It ain't because she had to whoop your. Just the fact that she had to whoop your sister was enough. Now I got to whoop you too. Oh, you gonna get it worse.
I'm gonna get it worse because the way my sister acted, running around the house.
Yeah, because I had to whoop her, so now I'm gonna whoop
so I
you
can
too.
get mine. I gotta go put on extra drawers, trying to put some liners up.
It's not, Elder. It's not at all. No, it's not.
All right,
at least y'all didn't have a 6'4" mother with the hands the size of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
You better watch out, yo. You better
watch out, bro. And I'm talking, she raised 6'4", so y'all already know she was rough with it.
And whoop a last one of y'all ass. Y'all know how to get. Y'all better get in line. You better get in line.
She knuckle up. Hey, meet me at the mulberry tree. We like, no. Oh, mom was rough, man. My mom was. She wasn't playing. She was not playing.
Awesome.
All right, y'all. We're gonna dive into some of these super chats. Before the chat get to whooping me, like,
Hell
hoes. Never mind. Y'all take it easy on me. I'm having a hard time right now.
Oh, it's Lonnie Walker. Oh no.
You know what? We don't need Dub today. We really don't need Dub today. Oh damn. But all right, come on. We gonna do some of these super chats. What I do want to do right after this is an NBA draft lottery prediction. Essentially, we're just gonna predict who's gonna go. Mars, you're not going first. Mars, you're not going
because we already know who Mars is. You already know who Mars got.
The so chat you guys are saying I'm biased. That's what you.
Yes, that's exactly. I'll say it. Yes,
that's
you are, Mars.
Crazy. Wow.
I'll say it. Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and dive into these super chats. Liam McLean said, "Lost my father on May 7th. Don't forget to tell people you love how much they mean to you as much as possible."
It never gets better. It just sucks less. That's all it does.
Sorry for your loss.
Facts. We here for you. Whale said low Gox for Jokic, saying he's a top 5-6 offensive peak, but never mentions Dame outplaying him offensively in 2021. Low praises KG's peak, missing the playoffs, but never Dame, who all offensive metrics have second behind Jokic.
Well, you can outplay a guy, but a guy could still have a better peak than you. Okay, because you outplayed a guy. Is Jayson Tatum's peak better than KD? I mean, and Jayson Tatum outplayed KD last year in the playoffs. Is he better? So I don't know if that logic works. No.
I also want to know what offensive metrics have Dame number 2.
You think Tatum better than him now?
Oh man.
I think it's more of a conversation today than it was in the past. I do.
Well, KD's at the end. Exiting his prime.
I think it's more of a conversation today than what it was 2 years ago.
We talking about KD or Dame?
No, we're talking about KD and
KD.
Yo, did Ticket fall asleep or something? He's been quiet for a while now.
Yeah, he's still over there.
He's recharging so that when it's his time to go, it'll be 40 minutes of cooking everyone.
He gonna hit him with the finally.
Pimp named Slickback said, by the way, can we start calling KGM as we do LeBron? KD has gotten 3 coaches fired in the last 3 years. He wanted to get Steve Kerr fired in Golden State as well.
Did he? I didn't know that.
I heard him criticize the Golden State system. I don't know about getting fired, but what 3 coaches did he get fired? Monty, I heard he had a hand in the decision making.
Kenny Atkinson.
Kenny Atkinson wasn't fired because of KD.
If they try to count Scott
Brooklyn screwed that up.
If they try to count Scott
Steve Nash, I guess, but Kenny Atkinson is not because of KD. Nash and Monty, I guess, because I read that he was part of the decision-making process with Monty. And Steve Nash, I think Steve Nash got himself fired, in my opinion, but you can give that to KD. But Kenny Atkinson is not KD, in my opinion.
If KD would have said when he got there, we want to keep Atkinson, they'd have kept him, right?
But that's not, there's a difference. It's like when I said I don't care about something earlier. Me not caring about something isn't me saying it doesn't matter or Me not saying keep him isn't me saying get rid of him. If you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
You can just. It's like I like strawberries doesn't mean I don't like apples. If you, I get it.
Trying to explain it. No, I get it.
There you go.
But Dub, you were about to say Scott Brooks.
Yeah, I'm saying if the person who sent that super chat is trying to talk about Scott Brooks.
Scott Brooks was terrible too.
That was like 8 years ago.
That was 8 years ago, and Kevin Durant didn't even want Scott Brooks fired. He was actually mad that they hired Billy Donovan. So it was like the only ones by Monty and Doc.
Billy Donovan came in starstruck. Just gave the ball to KD. The ball straight to KD.
He wasn't talking about that.
They running high pick and rolls with each other.
And that Atkinson situation, Brooklyn screwed that up because Atkinson is a damn good coach. They definitely screwed that up. Now, it wasn't KD, no.
Yeah, I don't know when these coaches are going to realize that you can have 5 superstars, but if you just play one-on-one basketball, it's just not.
It's just not going to work. No, it's not
going to pan out for you. All right, here we go.
That your superstars,
unless your name's LeBron.
A pimp named Slickback said, Woj just tweeted a list of candidates for the Sixers. Mike D'Antoni, Morey, Harden, and D'Antoni running their nonsense show again.
Y'all dudes gonna kill me, man. I'm over Mike D'Antoni. I am.
Damn. What's wrong
What?
I'm over Mike D'Antoni.
What? Why?
I'm over Mike D'Antoni. I just am.
At this point, I think y'all trolling with that Mike D'Antoni love.
I still think Mike D'Antoni should go to Milwaukee.
Nobody in the world really believes Mike D'Antoni.
Morris, I get with that.
Daryl Morey does, but James Harden do.
I'm not a fan of the Mike D'Antoni.
You know what? They on opioids.
Yeah, I agree. But see, Philly been put in a situation where they have to back the investment. They got more invested in them dudes. So now they got to back it because they've heard the rumblings with Harden people putting out there that he could go back to Houston, which Houston got the money to sign him. Then you got Houston saying, hey, our best player, we may want to trade him. Why would you want to get rid of Jalen Green to make
Lord knows, man. They're crazy. Lord knows.
You see what I'm saying, though? They have to back him. So now they're forced to do what Harden and Morey wants. They're forced to do it.
That's crazy.
And they've shown their hand already because they got rid of Doc. Now, if they would have kept Doc, that would have been them showing, no, we're not doing what Morey and Harden want to do. You can leave. We'll start over. They didn't show it. They got rid of Doc. So they showing the hand. They're going to go with the investment. And now they're finna get whatever coach Harden wants. Watch.
I want to know what's wrong with Mike D'Antoni. I don't like him on the Sixers, though. I don't like him on the Sixers. But what's wrong with Mike?
That's the biggest problem.
I think he can win. I think 2018 he could have won. Stuff didn't go well. 2007, I think he could have won. Things didn't go well. Now, do I think he guarantees you a championship? Of course not. But I think the reason I said Mike D'Antoni to Milwaukee is because I think they have the defensive pieces to where their defense will be good with or without a great defensive mind as a coach. And offensively, I think he unlocks Giannis in a way he unlocked Amari Stoudemire and brought him to another level. As an interior big, off-the-ball big, roll man, put him in positions to be a lot more successful, not having create from the perimeter. And then you have guys like Chris Middleton who could be solid isolation square. I just think he raises that offense to a level where their defense can still be competitive in the playoffs because of their personnel. And that offense is so much better. I think they just become a better team. Now, I don't think he's great in every situation. I don't think Mike D'Antoni is the answer in Philly. I hate Mike D'Antoni in Philly. But I think in Milwaukee, I think he does a good job. So
I think in Philadelphia, number one, he tries to turn Embiid into a rim runner more than anything. He's going to speed the offense up, and he's going to turn Embiid into a rim runner, and he's going to turn James Harden into a primary distributor and long ball shooter. Even though James Harden has been doing that a lot, but he's going to do that even more with Mike D'Antoni because he's going to speed up. He's going to speed up the offense. Now, in terms of their defense in Philadelphia is going to suffer because of that. Because now Joel Embiid is prime. Yeah,
they can't defend in transition already, and now you're going to speed the game up even more. It will be bad.
Right, and now you're going to ask Embiid to be not just a rim runner, more of a rim runner. Now he's going to be even less of a rebounder, and now he's going to be even less of a defender at the rim. So stuff like that, I got a huge problem with. The reason why I'm over Mike D'Antoni is because I feel like the NBA has a tendency to recycle coaches who. Their system has proven that, okay, this works for a period of time. It's time to get something. It's time to do something new because you've shown that you're good enough just to do this. So I don't think that if you get Mike D'Antoni in Philadelphia, he's the difference because his system has shown, even with great players, that this is as far as we're going to go with this system. You can try to eliminate play or exchange different players, but the system doesn't change. And with his system, this is as far as you're going. period. So I'm out on Mike D'Antoni. I like what Toronto did with hiring Nick Nurse, something internal. I'd like to see more of that because there are a lot of good coaches out there that are not getting an opportunity. Sam Cassell is a prime example of that.
I think on the one thing that all championship teams have in common, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, they're committed to play defense. Now, does that mean all the defenses are elite to win championships? I'm not saying that. They at least are committed. I don't think D'Antoni's committed to defense. And if you're not committed, what he won't do while you're out there playing with him and practicing and all these things is hold those guys accountable on the defensive end. If you don't have a coach that's going to do that, I don't think I'm winning a championship. And this is why I've been off D'Antoni for years. He literally just lets the guys that can handle that show go out and run it, and they just run and gun and really like try to wear everybody out. But what he does is wears his team out in the long run. But if you're not committed on the defensive end, I don't think you can ever win a championship. I don't think he's committed.
I think his defenses were okay in Houston. I think Phoenix, I think he wasn't committed to defense. In Houston, I think his defenses were pretty good. Like, he was switching a lot. He showed that he was able to hold up with the Golden State Warriors team. He actually slowed them down because of how well he was implementing switching schemes. So I think he's shown in recent years that he can coach a competent level defense. And with the right personnel, I think his defense will be good enough. And Giannis, I don't think you have to question his commitment to defense. Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez. I think they have the pieces where whether or not Mike D'Antoni's a genius defensive mind, I think their defense will be pretty good regardless. And then the offense just steps up. Now, I agree. Philadelphia, terrible, terrible place for him. I just think there's some situations in the NBA where Mike D'Antoni would be good. That's all I'm saying. Not that he's the best coach in the
two things, Miles. Number one, you had mentioned unlocking Amari Stoudemire like he did. Well, the reason why that worked is because he had elite level point guard. Now, yes. I'm not sure that there's an elite level distributor in Milwaukee like there was in offensively. I don't mean defensively. I mean offensively. There isn't an elite level distributor like there was in Phoenix. When he was in Phoenix, what I equated to, Elder, I equated to the punch-drunk boxer. I think I could hit you more than I could stop you from hitting me. And I think that's what he was doing. That's what he does more than anything with a lot of his teams, where he tries to speed the game up and just outscore teams. At some point, you got to stop somebody, and you got to stop somebody in stretches. And if you're not gonna do that, then you're not gonna win. So,
you're seeing double right now.
Yes, we are seeing double. I got to where my glasses at.
I get what you're saying, Chill Time. That makes sense, and I get what you're saying too, Mars. Because again, if he got mature defenders, they can make up the edge. I saw that in Houston, what you were talking about, and I did see moments where they were definitely scrappy. I think that came from just having a team full of dogs, because dogs care. Dogs are going to take pride in when they're out there playing, and the greater the competition got for them, like when they got against Golden State, you could tell those players cared. They wanted to win. Injuries just cost them. I really think they'd have won that without Chris Paul getting hurt. But I get what y'all saying. It makes sense. I think, I would agree with that. Milwaukee, to me, is a better fit for D'Antoni and the way he wants to play with those guys than that. But then I'm struggling with like what Chill was saying. Where's the elite point guard, the elite playmaker? Because he needs that for his system. You have to have an elite playmaker for his system to flourish, in my personal opinion.
No, that's not your opinion, Elder. That's the evidence. That's why it worked when he was in Phoenix. That's when he was in Houston. That's why it worked.
Drew Holiday is definitely not that level of.
And I love Drew Holiday, but no,
I like him too. He's not that.
They could share the load though. They could split it up with Drew
and Giannis.
Easy, Ron. Focus, Ron.
All right,
you focus, Ron.
I didn't catch myself. I didn't catch myself. You didn't. Come on, Lonnie. Damn, man.
Focus, Ron.
Wow. But that was all right, chat. All right, go ahead.
Nah, but I do think they could probably split up that workload with Middleton, with Drew, with Giannis, and at the same time having Giannis on the ball at times, having him more off the ball as well. I do hear y'all point because he had Nash and Harden and then CP3. So I hear y'all point with that, but I do think he's good enough to make that offense where it needs to be to put them over the edge. Because the main thing with the Milwaukee Bucks is their offense.
Mars,
he's done.
Mars, you had mentioned in Milwaukee. Mars, you had mentioned in Milwaukee. And I don't want to use the word hate, but you really didn't like Giannis with the basketball as much as he had the basketball. So, how do you feel about Mike D'Antoni coming in with his system? Would he take him off the basketball because the game is going to speed up with Mike D'Antoni? Would it be beneficial to them for him to take him off the basketball?
The idea is Giannis will really only have the basketball in transition, semi-transition, running the break. That's where most of his ball handling responsibility will come from. In the half court, you're using him as a screener. You're using him in the post as a facilitator or a scorer, and you're using him out the short roll. That's where you're using him in half court. In transition, Giannis is free to do whatever he wants. LeBron James, Magic Johnson, that's what he is in transition. But in the half court, you put the ball in the hands of your point guard, who is likely to be Drew Holiday. Whether or not they can make some trades and maybe upgrade that position offensively, I don't know. But in the half court, you're looking at Drew Holiday to be your main decision maker, Chris Middleton, and you're looking at Giannis to just be more of an off-ball player. I think as a lob threat, he can be really maximized. As a screener, he can be brought to another level. And I think his play in the post can elevate with a guy like Mike D'Antoni who will give him those touches, in my opinion. That's the goal.
Which does make sense, but I think that when we're talking about Mike D'Antoni, he wants to play fast the majority of the game, which means that kind of negates your point because he's going to have the basketball the majority of the game. So when the game actually slows down, we're going to have a rhythm issue because now you want to take the ball out of Giannis's hands, and now you want to turn him into a pick and dive guy. You want to turn him into a guy in the dunker spot. You want to put him at the high post. Now the ball is out of his hands now. So it might get a little tricky when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it might. But if the pace is too high, like if you're constantly running, Giannis will have the ball more than I would like, even though I like him with the ball in those situations. But I think over the course of a year, I think you'll get enough reps with a sort of slowed down half court tempo where Giannis can be comfortable in those situations, especially over 82 games. Because their transition is going to make up a larger portion of their offense, but not so large as to where Giannis won't have enough reps in the half court. Whereas, like we see with Embiid, where he just doesn't have enough reps in the post because Doc Rivers purposely goes away from it. I don't think Mike D'Antoni will go away from a half court offense in favor of just transition. So I think Giannis will be fine, in my opinion.
I know we're saying that Milwaukee, it'll be a good spot, but he's not even on their list, though, is he?
Yeah, I don't think so. But
yeah, they're looking at Monty Williams mainly, but yeah, I don't think he's even on their list, which is smart because I don't think he fits.
To be honest with you, Elder, I think Monty Williams is in Philadelphia. They wanted him from the door, but the problem was, they wanted him from the beginning. But Brett Brown ended up winning that first round playoff series, and Phoenix offered Moti the job, so he could not take it because Brett Brown was getting fired at the end of that season if they didn't win it. They were trying to wait on Moti. Yeah, that's what they were trying to wait on. So now the fact that he's available, I think he heads back to Philadelphia.
But is Harden gonna want him though? They say that's where the problem gonna come in. I don't know if Harden gonna want him.
I mean, if Harden wants to go to Phoenix, where Monty is, Monty.
No, you guys are wrong again. The whole plan was a plan from before. It was to fire Doc Rivers and to get Mike D'Antoni as a head coach. I told you guys this 2 years ago when Harden first went over there, and this is exactly what's going on now. Mike, watch what happens. If Mike D'Antoni's the head coach, James Harden will stay, and I got a big tip that Mike D'Antoni will be the next head coach of this team. And I told you guys this a long time ago that they was hunting Mike D'Antoni. I told y'all this.
You did. I remember that.
All right.
All right, fellas, on to the next super chat. Jason the Kid said Harden is the biggest choker in NBA history. Don't compare to Iverson. Don't compare Iverson to this choker. Iverson is second behind MJ in points per game in the playoffs. Iverson has the most steals in a game in NBA history. Harden did what in the playoffs besides choke?
I just think that's where the separator is when you're talking about James Harden and Allen Iverson. I think that these two players, I mean, I don't think it's a wash. I mean, I don't think Allen Iverson clears him, but I think I think that's where the separator is because we don't have it.
Cut it out. AI clears that bum. AI was never a dude who came up small in the biggest moments. AI's resume is on par. Look, their resumes are on par equal. So now we got to go to the performances when it counts. It ain't even close. So that means that puts AI over this dude, bro. I can't believe y'all are saying this. Y'all are disrespecting the great AI who didn't have half the help that James Harden had. You guys are disgusting, bro. If he had half the help James Harden had throughout his career, AI would have had multiple rings. If he doesn't run into the Lakers that year, he won a championship as a leader of his team, bro. Cut this shit out, man. Y'all stop disrespecting the legends like this for frauds like James Harden, man. Stop doing that, man.
We don't need to have this discussion again.
Why does it always come back to Allen Iverson and James Harden?
I don't know. Ever since I said for me James Harden was better, it seems to be something that gets brought up a whole lot. I don't get it, but well.
AI has a lot of duds in the postseason too, though. It's like
but you're not gonna remember duds from 20 years ago. That's my point. Like that's the point. Like we're gonna remember James Harden now because it's fresh in the memory.
What duds do AI have in closeout games?
I remember vividly.
And let me say this. Hold on. Let me say this. Most of the time, Most of the time AI was playing, he was the main guy. His team, they depend on him when it's crunch time.
The fact that he's the man doesn't matter. The fact that he's the man, the fact that he's the man, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. We all know how good Allen Iverson was. That's not the problem. The issue is that where is the separator? Because when you're talking about great players, there has to be a separator somewhere. And with Allen Iverson, the separator is in the playoffs. That's the separator.
Yeah, and I'm not arguing that James Harden's a great player. I'm just saying I remember vividly, because I've watched this game recently, Game 6, 2000 against the Pacers, closeout game. Allen Iverson was terrible. He played terribly. They lost that game. Indiana went on to go to the finals. Allen Iverson played dreadfully. You can find the game on the internet. You can watch it. He played badly, but no one's going to remember a game from 23 years ago. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he played terrible every game.
The games. And I remember one thing. I remember he didn't have half as much help as James Harden had. And this dude don't choke with all them MVPs, all those great role players he had. He actually had shooters around him. You tell me the shooters AI had around him. You tell me the best role players and teammates AI had around him that can facilitate for him and help him if he had a bad offensive night. Allen Iverson was a guy for all of his years in Philly that he could not have a bad offensive night or they would lose. Period. So cut the shit, bro.
Well, that's the issue. The goalpost just moved. At first, you asked, when did AI ever have a dud in a closeout game? I gave you an example where I remember just off the top of my head. And then you moved the goalpost to, well, AI didn't have any help. If you want to make that argument, that's fine.
What was his numbers? What was his numbers that game, on?
Now that game you said that was I'm just saying I remember the game. Oh, okay.
I'm saying, what was his stats that game? What was his numbers that game?
I have to look it up because I was just going off memory. So I have to find the game.
I guarantee you one thing. I put every car, every motorcycle, and every house I got that he didn't have 9 points.
Yeah, he didn't. I can remember off the top he had double digits, but I have to find the game because
he had 15. I remember he had 15 points against Milwaukee Bucks and they still won. It wasn't a closeout game, but that was game
5. Yeah, that was game 5. I remember. Yeah. Okay, I'm finding it. Game.
Hold on. I'm about to. While you doing that, I'm gonna continue to read super chats.
Yeah.
Lonnie Williams said it's about integrity and heart of the game. Mars, some of these guys just don't. It's disingenuous. It's disingenuous to the purity of the sport. They have no talent, no heart.
I never argued with the idea that players now they don't care about competing. I never argued with that, by the way. Like I just said I don't care about what James Harden's doing. Allen Iverson in that game 6, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 of 20 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3 of 5 from the free throw line, and they lost the game by 16 points. That's the game I was referring to. And if you want to tell me that's not a dud of a closeout game, go watch the game yourself, the box score.
Now listen what I'm saying. Okay, and the second best player on his team was who? And that was double what James Harden sorry ass just had in the closeout game.
That's my point.
With the MVP of the NBA on his team, man.
That's my whole point.
I ain't moving the goalposts. I'm keeping it real.
No, because you asked me at first, what game did he have? When did he ever have a dud in a closeout game? I gave you one, and then you moved the goalpost.
James Harden has had elite help. He's had elite help. He's had an MVP. He's got Maxey. He's got Tobias Harris. That's elite help with him. Who else did AI have to where teams would literally doubling and triple teaming James Harden? I mean AI. Excuse me. These are facts, bro.
I'm not arguing that AI had less help. I'm not arguing that. I'm just answering the question you asked me. And then when I answered
you can't grade it on the same scale. That's what I'm saying to you. You can't grade it on the same scale.
You can say that, but that's the issue. The question you asked me was, when did he have a dud? I answered the question, and then you started adding more questions to make it so that it wasn't on AI. I don't care whether it was on AI or not. I'm just answering the question you asked.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're comparing to James Harden later on in his career to what he has now, but when Allen Iverson was losing in the first round with Carmelo Anthony,
I'm comparing him every year in Houston. Every freaking year in Houston.
You just brought up MVP caliber players and Kevin Durant and Joel Embiid, but then when Allen Iverson was losing in the first round with Carmelo Anthony,
every single year in Houston, you put up Harden's entire Houston career. Every year in Houston, bro. Failure, bro. Dud, bro. Highest level, never getting it done when it came to the biggest moments, man. Get the hell out of here. Y'all dudes are sad. AI, I got your back. These dudes are slanderous and they scumbags.
No, we're not. Tickets, don't do that, man. See, Tickets, no, we're not doing that. Nobody doing it. You the one that's the scumbag. You the one doing that. I can't believe you, man.
Y'all tearing down a dude that had heart. He put his heart in the court. He put his heart in the game.
All you do every time one of us go. Hold on, Mars. Every time anybody talks. Anytime anybody talks, the first thing Ticker, you lying. Ain't nobody lying. We're telling them how we saw it. You wasn't the only one that was there. We were there too. I was there in particular. Yes, Allen Iverson was awesome. James Harden, on the other hand, he sucked. And that was the point. But don't make it sound like Allen Iverson was just way better, because he wasn't way better. So you the buffoon for saying some goofy-ass logic like that. Because no, he wasn't.
No one disrespected Allen Iverson. No.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's okay.
Damn.
I'll root for you if you get suspended. I'll get you out if you get suspended. Don't worry, I'll get you out.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we'll be seeing a ticket for the rest of this episode, but I got another super chat to read, and then we're going to go. Actually, I got somebody that needs to pop in for a second. He has something to say in terms of the draft lottery and whatnot, but I'm going to read this last super chat, and then we're going to go ahead and get into that. From Jamal, he said, I'm a lifelong Philly fan. I agree. Doc needed to go, but I'm pinning most of this on James and Joel. They had no heart. Harden needs to go as well. I lost all respect for Joel after that game.
As the big man, yo, you have to be better. As the big man, let's just take being the MVP off the table for a second, and just the big man. You are the guy. You got to be better than what you were. That is unacceptable. 100%. We are in an elimination game on the road. Everything you got, we need to see it. And that didn't look like it. That looked like a dude who just showed up. You could have stayed home for that, big fella.
I would say this. I was giving the Beast some flack because I do.
On one leg.
I do hold in value that the man is out there playing through an injury. And I know a lot of people up here get mad at the young generation for not doing that. And Joel Embiid is doing just that. But I was looking at the numbers. Oh, my God. It is a crazy drop. Went from 33 a game to 23. And you're not even shooting 45% from the field. You're shooting 43. Like, bro, the efficiency is terrible from Joel. So it's like, dang, bro. We got to crucify him for that, man. It's crazy.
All right, y'all. Before we get into our predictions, I got somebody who wants to give his big bowl prediction.
Oh, my God. So we have to go to the Utah Jazz.
You damn right you got to hear about Utah.
Talk to us, Leaf. What's gonna happen?
Listen, man. Look. I'm gonna narrow this down from the beginning. Elder, man, you my favorite Elder. The other dude in the blue shirt, I'm gonna strangle him when I see him. The thing I want to narrow this. How I'm gonna narrow this down, bro. So I think the NBA is gonna make the 5 teams that tank suffer by not giving them probably top 2 or top 3 picks. I think they're gonna make them suffer. If you go look back in the drafts in the past, the teams that tanked the most didn't wind up with the top 2, top 3 picks. San Antonio is probably the closest thing to it, but I think the first pick is definitely going to the West. San Antonio is probably the closest thing to it because they got a French fan base because of Tony Parker. I think that's the only other team that could do it. Other than that, I think we go to the Northwest Division, and that's where you at, Ron. That's where you at right now, man, in the Portland and Seattle area, bro. Portland probably ain't going to get them, man, because we all know how they do with number 1 overall picks, man. They water get dusty, and then the legs get dry. You know what I'm saying? And that leads me to my number 1 pick and where he's going to go tonight. And I've been saying it all season. I said it to everybody up in here. I guarantee everybody up in here that the Utah Jazz is getting the number 1 overall pick. I said it early in the season, and I stand by it. One of the things, one of the reasons I believe so is because they hired D Wade for that control-based gender thing or whatever, and all that other stuff, and try to get him to get more diversity out there in Utah. And the other reason I believe it because that's probably the best fit for him. They could just throw him at the 4, leave Walker Kessler at the 5, and they got another big body coming off the bench with Azubuike. So they don't have to play him at the 5 position when he got a bang. So to me, it's perfect for him. But I'm
sorry. Hey, man, I'm sorry to hurt your feelings, bro, but it don't work like that. It's a bunch of people in the room when they make the drawing. There's a bunch of people in the room to make sure it's legit. You got all kind of legal going on with that. You got lawyers and all kind of stuff involved with that. So no, I'm sorry, that defeats your narrative. But I mean, you can give a good guess. I do. I would prefer. I would pick the San Antonio Spurs to get him. And let me say something back to you, Grill Town, with your sorry ass. You talking about something? This is what you see about AI. Well, nigga, you need glasses like cockeyed Joe Mazzulla.
That's it.
Nice. No, that's it. That's it. He had the comeback broom. And he just had to get it off.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Hey, appreciate you for coming in and giving your big ball prediction, Leaf. Chat.
Terrible prediction.
What we need now? What we need now is for you guys to give us an order.
Make sure you put my name first. I'm the only one with a team in this lottery, so make sure I get.
That's crazy.
I'm the only one.
I know.
Something else, ain't he?
Yeah, like
this pertains to me. I should get the first pick.
We need a draft order or lottery order for who's going to go first. Chad, drop it on us.
Who is the first?
I see the order from a GOAT member, Dorian Clayton. You can't ignore it.
That's funny as hell.
Shout out to Dorian Clayton.
Mars rigged the lottery. We've seen this before.
Yeah, we're gonna rig it tonight as well.
That's fine. All right, well, Mars, it's on you.
With the first pick.
With
the first pick in the 2023 NBA draft, the Houston Rockets will be selecting Victor Wembanyama. The Houston Rockets.
So you think the Rockets got the first pick? All right.
We have to have the first pick. Have to. We've had the best odds for the last 3 seasons, and we haven't got the first pick once. It's about time. We've had number 3, number 2, and now we get number 1.
Mars selected Houston first. Chill.
I think Detroit gets the second pick in the draft.
Ooh, Scoot Henderson with Cade and Ivy. Ooh, I like that. I hope they don't get the number 2 pick.
All right, we got Detroit.
I don't like this lineup, Dorian.
That's a great lineup, Dorian.
Oh, I'm third.
Yeah, it's on you, Dub.
And who did you pick? He said Detroit.
I said Detroit.
Hey, chill town. They ought to ban your sorry ass from Philly for running that narrative, bro. I'm gonna holler at them people. I'm gonna get your ass. I'm gonna get your ass banned. I'm gonna get your ass banned from Philly. I'm gonna get you banned from Philly. I'm gonna get you banned from Philly for AI disrespect, sucker. That disrespect, they're gonna ban your ass from Philly. I promise you that. You watch what I tell you, dog. I got contacts in Philly. They're gonna ban your ass for that AI disrespect. I guarantee you that.
Hold on, Ticket. What disrespect am I giving AI? Go ahead.
You said he doesn't clear
James Harden on his level, man. Come on, man. Come on, bro. We got to be realistic, man. You're putting James Harden, a perennial choker, on the level of a dude who had displayed nothing but heart, passion, desire, will, and laid it all out on the court, bro. That has to mean something. Oh, chill town. Come on, bro.
It absolutely. It absolutely does. That's why I think he's better than James Harden.
You could be better than somebody be on the same level. What was wrong with that?
Facts.
Yeah. Like Jimmy Butler and PG, right? Like I think all the time they're probably on the same level. Jimmy Butler's better in my opinion, though.
Who would have thought saying something's close would be seen as disrespectful?
Magic Bird, same level. Magic's better.
Exactly.
Bird's bad, but yeah, that's fine.
All right,
yo, we gotta pack up Magic soon.
It's Dub.
Dub, we ain't going nowhere. No, we not.
Get him out of here. So we'll do the draft. I told y'all, Chill's gonna put Kobe in his top 10 very soon. Just wait on it, chat. We're gonna have this whole
mind for 10 years.
Oh no, he's gonna. No, we changed him up, John and Chris Paul, and then Isaiah Thomas. Listen, he's gonna move him up there. I promise y'all. Can't wait for that day. But Ron, we could do the draft.
Who you got? It's up to you.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be Houston.
We have number 1.
Houston. San Antonio. Antonio. My bad.
Trying to move us down. How dare you?
The Harlem Globetrotters get the 4th pick. No, I'm joking. Charlotte.
Charlotte.
We're just going in order right now of the odds.
I think the Spurs, but I don't get to choose them. My true pick, I believe the Spurs gonna get Wembanyama.
Nah, they got Tim Duncan already. They don't get another transcendent big. They don't get that.
They got 2. Why not a 3rd?
Nah, because we only have Hakeem, so we need another one.
You do know Moses Malone played for the Houston Rockets.
You don't know.
I do know that. I made sure I perfectly said Hakeem for a reason. I said Hakeem for a reason.
No Yao Ming.
They had great big men.
Damn.
No Yao Ming at least.
Eat them up.
No. There's not Tim Duncan and David Robertson, is it?
Ryan Anderson.
Okay, Moses now Malone you got me. Ryan Anderson, you got me. Ryan Anderson.
Moses Malone and Hakeem are definitely there.
Yeah. All right, as of right now, we got the Houston Rockets, Detroit Pistons, San Antonio Spurs, and the Charlotte Hornets. It's on me next, and Leaf, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna go ahead and throw your team in there. The Utah Jazz will pick 5th.
Utah.
Yeah, that's the Louis Scola. I'll see you, Desto. You know balls, Desto.
Oh, that is another one. Okay, yeah, maybe I'm cooked. The Rockets have had some elite bigs. Facts.
Louis Scola, oh boy.
Yo, Bobby, it's on you next.
Can I just pick Louis Scola? No? Okay. I got OKC.
Damn. What the hell?
Yeah.
At 7 ticket, who you got?
I got Chilltown sorry ass on a grill. I got Orlando, man. Orlando, dog.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Damn, you just disrespected Portland, man.
Well, Mars.
I got Portland at 8.
Portland and at 8.
Washington at 9.
I forgot about those bozos.
They just need to blow up. That's what they need to do.
Bozos.
Let's give Dallas some draft capital so that they can make some trades to get Kyrie and Lucas some help. So we're gonna put Dallas right there.
All right.
They need to trade Luka.
You're gonna see
the incompetent Chicago Bulls.
Incompetent Chicago Bulls. Not the Chicago Bulls, the incompetent Chicago Bulls.
Yeah. They need to get a whole new everything.
They have DeMar DeRozan and they can't do nothing.
And they finna leave.
Well, yeah, because they have DeMar DeRozan. That's the reason.
He gonna be gone this summer.
Good. Send him to Taiwan with Dwight Howard.
He may go to the Lakers.
No, you can't.
You should not want that. You should not want that.
You can't send modern day Wilt Chamberlain to Taiwan, Mars.
With this Lakers team, oh yeah, I would love to have that.
What? DeMar DeRozan on the Lakers?
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan in the playoffs, like
that would be terrible for you guys. I would hate it for you guys.
We would be all right.
No, man.
If the Lakers had DeMar DeRozan right now,
Zach LaVine, I think would be.
If the Lakers had DeMar DeRozan, they would have lost to Golden State.
No, if they had DeMar DeRozan right now, they would be on the way to winning the championship.
Nah, the Lakers would be crucifying DeMar for how bad he would be playing.
They probably would have lost to Memphis too.
DeMar would play his natural role. He ain't no lead. He wouldn't have to do that for the Lakers.
He can't shoot,
but he'd have to exist.
Hold on. He can shoot the midi better than anybody in the game. What is you talking about? Who shoots the midi better than DeMar DeRozan?
He is a great mid-range shooter, but come on.
He's an elite mid-range shooter. We don't even take 1-3 all year.
He's not catching shooting mid-range shots off of LeBron and them boys. Like, come on,
that dude would be perfect for the Lakers right now. Keep talking.
In the regular season, I agree.
Elder, you got to remember.
The trade is.
You got to remember, Elder.
They call us the slums down here. That's what they call the YouTube. So the trade's already out in the slums. It's gonna come up. Watch, and it's perfect for the Bulls and the Lakers. He coming. He want to go home
until you see him in the playoffs.
You got to remember when you're talking to the youth. If you say shooting, they only think about the three ball. They only think about 30-foot shots. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mars, y'all have seen him in the lead role in the playoffs. That's not his best role. He ain't gonna have that with the Lakers. He'll be fine. Watch, he gonna be fine.
I'm not putting faith into DeMar DeRozan.
I just don't like the fit. I just don't like the fit with LeBron and them boys. I think they need more shooting because the shooting is inconsistent as it is right now. He's not a great defender.
We don't need him.
He's a bad defender. He's a terrible defender.
He's a bad defender?
Yes.
Bad?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would hear you.
Even more the reason why Alex Caruso deserves all defensive first team. He was hiding.
I don't think he's bad as a defender. I would call him average, but I wouldn't say he's bad. I wouldn't say
that man's feet is slow.
We're gonna find out next year. We're gonna find out this next season.
One change of direction, he's out to play.
Hey, go to the next one. I'm sorry.
All right, fellas. We got 2 more picks. I chose the Indiana Pacers at 12. We got 2 more picks.
I'll take the Toronto Raptors.
Oh, that's right. They are in it, aren't they? I forgot they were in it. Who's the last team?
New Orleans.
Oh yeah, that's probably where they're gonna go to.
You can't give Zion too much help. He gotta get the job done.
That's a pretty consistent order.
Imagine if Dallas got Wemby.
I was just thinking that, Moss. I was just thinking that. Like if they had Wemby, how much that would
they let Kyrie walk if they got Wemby?
I think they'd be more willing to let him go.
He finna be on the first thing smoking back to France after a couple months dealing with Luka ass. He gonna be like, No, we. Let me get the fuck.
If Portland's get Wembanyama, do you think Dame is more bought into the project?
Dame is already bought into the project.
I don't think he wants to go anywhere. And if
every season after Portland lose, he sends out those cryptic messages about how he doesn't know about what his future is, and then he ends up staying anyway. But
yeah, I don't think he wants to go anywhere. And if Portland were to win the lottery, that would just be even more of another excuse for him to be like, I ain't going nowhere. No, do
you think Portland's are the type of team that they would potentially trade the number 1 pick to get Dame a superstar right now?
Yes, they would.
I think so too.
I think that they would do that.
But time out though. In any given year,
no, Wembanyama's that guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it. I wouldn't trade this pick, but I'm asking.
I wouldn't trade number 1 overall pick. Ron, if I got a number 1 overall pick and I know it's Wembanyama, I'm not trading him. He's the guy. He is the guy. I'm putting him with Dame. I'm putting a young guy that I know is gonna come in the league and give me 20 off the rip. I want him right now. Wembanyama is something that we ain't seen before. So why would I give him up for somebody that could? I'm going for the young guy that's coming in the league that's supposed to be something we ain't never seen before. That's what they need to roll with. If they get the number 1 overall pick, that's how they need to ride. They'll be in the playoffs next year. I'll tell you that much.
And on top of that, he's going to be there way longer than Dame, which means that you can still build around that group. You can still build around him. Can you imagine passing on Wemby and he turns into like Tim Duncan somewhere else? You are so fired, and never get
y'all talking about Wemby to Portland?
Yeah.
Okay. That's exciting.
Hey, so right quick. But before we move on, because we do got to talk about the Lakers and Nuggets. Wembanyama, he's such an exciting prospect, and we're gonna find out tonight. But I just want to run down all these teams, and I just want to hear real quick what he looks like on these teams. So first off, the Rockets. What does Wembanyama look like on the Rockets? And let's predict what he could possibly be. Mars?
What, long term? Or
long term, yeah. Or I mean, some players only stick around for 6 years, maybe.
No, he'll be a Houston Rockets lifer for sure. Long term, he looks like a mix between. You got Hakeem level rim protection.
Man, cut the shit, Mars. He better than James Harden.
I wasn't even done. Yes, I was gonna say he would be better than James Harden. Like, you didn't even let me get to that.
Nah, cut the shit, Mars.
He'll bring you Hakeem level. He'll bring you Hakeem level rim protection. He'll bring you Anthony Davis level versatility. He'll bring you a scoring arsenal that's similar to Kevin Durant.
Oh,
and then you put that next to Jalen Green. What you have there is about 6 championships. So
yo, Mars, wait, so you're telling me that Wembanyama is a mixture of Hakeem, KD, and Anthony Davis? Ooh. Now I might just be saying this because the brother's light-skinned, but I'm not buying that.
I
wouldn't buy that.
No, he's only that if he goes to Houston. Anywhere else,
I'm not buying that off the clearance rack, Mars.
When he goes, he only becomes that if he goes to Houston.
I'm stealing that too, Ox. That's my new. I ain't buying that off the clearance rack. I'm stealing that.
Anywhere else, he doesn't turn into that, but in Houston, that's what he turns into. So,
all right, chill. You chose Detroit. What does he look like in Detroit?
I think he's Ralph Sampson with a jump shot and a handle. That's who I think he is. And in Detroit, running with Cade Cunningham and the big guy, because me and Miles had this conversation. It's very difficult to watch the Detroit Pistons. But with him, Jalen Duren can now play the 5. You got Cunningham at the 1 who can now distribute and get him involved in the game more. And you got this kid Jaden Ivey. Yeah, mm-hmm. I think he's Ralph Sampson with a better handle.
Doug, you chose the Spurs, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us.
It's probably Victor is like I'm kind of on the fence on, but I do think when he comes on the San Antonio Spurs, I do think the defense is going to be better because I think Greg Pop is going to look to funnel those guys into Victor Wembanyama so he could do what he does best, which is rim protect and block shots. On the offensive end, I think he's going to be like a 20 to 22 points per game guy off rip with him running in transition and just the shots that he can make, bro. He could shoot over damn near a lot of people in the league. Everybody in the league. He could shoot over everybody in the league, so he could have a lot of catch and shoot opportunities. Him and Keldon Johnson can make some things happen, and I do think he'll be a 20 to 22 points per game guy, 8 to 10 rebounds, and 1.5 to 2 blocks. That's what
Dub, you got that. Yo, she a fly chick, but I'm not sure. Where's that coming from with you?
His defense.
The number one thing is people are kind of overrating like his perimeter defense. He doesn't strike me as a guy that could really like guard up on that. I do think he's a phenomenal rim protector though.
Right.
And then the second thing is his health. I mean, the dude, didn't he get hurt? He got.
It was.
He don't got no injury history. And Doug, you don't need to be a great perimeter. You don't need to be a great perimeter defender when you got length and athleticism like him. Because if you beat him off the dribble, he catching you and punching that shit on the glass. Because
100%.
his length and his ability to reach and move is enough to recover if he gets beat.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that too. But we'll have to see how it happens in the NBA because from what I've seen from him against the in the French league, I mean, some of those guys was really getting to him. So I got to see how he handles the NBA.
I think you guys overrate his offensive game. I don't think he's ready to come in and be an elite offensive player from day one. I think the tools are all there, but I just don't think he's put it all together yet. But
he'll have 20 though, easily in today's NBA, 100%.
Depends on how he's used. Yeah.
Also, though, Mars, like, so we talking about the Detroit Pistons. If he goes somewhere like that with somebody like Cade Cunningham that can spoon feed him, I think that 20 is easy.
I agree. I just talk about the way in which it comes. Like, not all 20 is the same 20. I don't think he's for sure dribbling off the dribble, pull up threes. Like, I don't think he has that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I do think as a rim runner, as a lob threat, he needs to get better as a screener. But I do think just he can get 20 just off transition, interior putbacks, etc. I just don't think it's going to come from the jump shots that everyone likes to see on the highlight films. That's it.
Okay.
I agree.
Yo, Elder, you chose the Charlotte Hornets. What does he look like on the Hornets?
I think he looks like a Porzingis with a little bit better handle. And then I think his career will mirror what Anthony Davis had in New Orleans, and then they're going to force him out of there. I don't think the Frenchies going to love having him there. And he'll do well. He'll be an all-star, all that superstar type of dude, but never win. And then they're going to force him up out of there after, 6-7 years.
Okay.
That's what I think will happen.
No doubt. I actually chose the Utah Jazz, and what I will say is it's going to be easy transition because he gets Rudy Gobert's phone book. He gets all of his connections and whatnot. But I'm not going to tell you guys what it would look like on the Jazz. I'm going to have Leaf come back and tell you guys what he'll look like on the Jazz.
Basically, on the Jazz, he's basically you talking about somebody with Rudy Gobert height, Kevin Durant's bag, and basically moves almost as gracefully as a young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And they could play him at the 4 spot so he don't have to bang because they got Walker Kessler rim protecting, and they got a backup big in Azubuike that could bang as well. So they don't have to put him there. They still have Lauri Markkanen. They'll still have Lauri Markkanen at the 3. The guards, I want to see what guards is going to play with him, whether it's going to be Chris Dunn, Colin Sexton, or Jordan Clarkson, if they're going to play around him. But and that he would have to do as much. I see him about 22 points, maybe like 8 rebounds or whatever. Like he's probably going to be on a gang rebounding team because Walker Kessler has he's been phenomenal as a rim protector coming into the league, and I think he'll be definitely okay. I think he'll play more off the ball action slight, and then they'll move more of an inside out type.
That's a big ass front line, Leaf, with Kessler, him, and my goodness.
I know. That means you ain't getting nothing in the paint.
Damn, that's a huge.
And remember, they did that in Cleveland though.
And he's the only person
best defensive team in the league.
He's the only player that I've seen in my life that when you put him in pick and roll situations, there is no mid-range shots, and there are no mid-range jumpers coming off when he's helping off the screen, and there are no layups. You got to go full speed and strong adding. You got to go straight downhill, and if he's standing there, then he getting away. But I think he has the awareness to stay out of the way of what's more dangerous to him, like those speedy plays and everything. I don't think he's going to be able to track that. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll be Walker Kessler's job to protect the paint, and he'll issue help, kind of like Triple J with Steven Adams. You know what I'm saying? So kind of one of those things. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll be great, and that's about to be my new Western Conference team if it do happen. So
cool. All right, appreciate you, Leaf. Moving along. The next team was the Thunder. I think it was Bob that picked the Thunder. Bob, you good? All right. Does somebody up here want to give us a prediction on what he'll look like on the Thunder?
Well, I mean, they get 2 rookies, Chet and him, and that's that front line. I mean, it doesn't give you much in terms of physicality, but I think Chet was like Wemby before Wemby in terms of what he was looking to bring to the league in terms of rim protection, guard-like skills, being able to shoot the ball. I think he's a better passer than Wemby as well. But I think what you get is you add those two guys to Shea, to Josh Giddey, to Lou Dort. You have one of the most fun and dangerous young teams in the NBA. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like a top 6 seed if they ended up getting Chet and Wemby in one off season.
Yeah, I can get with that.
Yo,
Chet and Wemby will be sick. Especially
I genuinely love to watch that team. Like if Houston don't get the number 1 pick, OKC is a team I'm okay with because I would just love to watch that team.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, can you just imagine Shea with those two next to him?
Yeah.
Like if I'm Shea, I'm really walking around like can't nobody do nothing to me.
They could have the best defense in the league as well.
Nah, for sure. You know when you walk around with the 2 biggest guys in the room and you not gonna say nothing to me. You're not gonna say nothing to me. You're not gonna look at me just because I got the 2 biggest guys next to me. I feel like, and Shea's obviously him, but it's like, yo, I really got the Twin Towers, like legitimately the Twin Towers that can do any and everything on the court. I think that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I like OKC, just not as much as Houston.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna run down a couple more super chats, and what we're gonna do is talk about, well, the game tonight in the series at large. Z-Rod said Iverson or Chris Paul, prime for prime.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Iverson.
Is it close to you guys or easily?
I think it's close.
Okay.
Yes, it's close. Very close.
Nah, it's disrespectful, chill. It's disrespectful. You know, my bad. It's Allen Iverson. It's disrespectful that we can put a man like Allen Iverson under a guy like CP3 who was always getting hurt in the postseason, man. He never got the job.
But he made the finals, though. Chris Paul made the finals.
He don't got the heart or the glory, fam.
He made the finals and he won 2 games.
Yo, all right, come on.
He won 2 games.
Hey, open gym coming later today. Y'all be sure to tune in. Sports BSP said better coach, Phil Jackson or Popovich?
I've always preferred Greg Popovich as a coach.
Phil Jackson.
I'm a Phil Jackson guy.
Whichever one coaches Jordan, Pippen, Shaq, and Kobe.
So it's like this. If you need somebody, it's like this. If you need somebody to handle the players, I want Phil. Mm-hmm. If you need somebody to handle the schemes, I want Pop. It's just that simple.
I think Phil Jackson was a good X and O guy. I think he was good at it. I think he was good at adjustments, but I think that the separator is the managing of the players, and I think that Phil was elite at that. Mm-hmm. He knew when to step in. He knew when to let guys handle it themselves, and I think that's where the separation is between those two guys.
I can agree. I mean, I always go back to how Popovich handled Dennis Rodman versus how Phil Jackson did. I mean, it's totally polar opposites, and I think.
Mars, you think so? Mars, you think that was a good idea? You would have let him go to Vegas?
Yes.
Like just stuff like that. You that's like you being you, Mars. If you're the coach and he's like, hey, coach, I need to decompress.
James Harden got criticized for going to Vegas 2 weeks ago. So I mean, me personally,
James Harden ain't deliver, man. That's the difference.
Me personally, if a player came to me during a playoff series and said, "I need to let off steam and go to Vegas," I'd look at them like they were crazy. Me personally, but Phil Jackson knows his players better than I would ever know his players, and if he thought it was the right call and it worked out, I can't be the one to judge him. I know I would do something completely different in that situation, but I can't say he was wrong for what he did.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Doug.
I was gonna say, people gotta understand. You got some people you gotta handle different. Nah, not some people. A lot of people you have to handle differently. Like people always want to be like, well, if you did it for this guy, you got to do it for this. No, sometimes, especially being a coach and handling people, there's certain things that you know somebody can handle and somebody can't handle. And Rodman was a dude where he needed that break. He needed to get his mind right, and that was his coping mechanism to get his mind right. And what happened? They got a chip because of that. James Harden on the other hand, go on, fam. Keep your ass in the gym, fam. Come on, bro.
You can't go nowhere. Not you. Him, maybe we can have a discussion about him. You keep your ass right here.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Moving along. Anastius said, I had a horrible vacation in Antarctica.
How did you even get there? That's what I'd like to know, because Antarctica ain't like any other continent, right? How did you got to take a plane, then a boat, then another boat. How'd you get there? That's what I'd like to know.
I think that's how we got there. A plane, a boat, and another boat.
Chilltown, I thought you rolled in the finest of circles, Chilltown.
Who would think about going to Antarctica for vacation?
That's what I'm wondering right there. Who wants to go there?
Switzerland. I like Switzerland. There's a lot of stuff over there, but Antarctica.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff over there.
Big Ox, I'm Rocky Balboa, man. Big Ox, I'm ham and eggs, brother.
Antarctica's on my bucket list. Thank you.
You ain't ham and eggs.
Are we gonna see the end of the world?
What?
Go to Antarctica?
No, because it's flat.
Yeah.
Go on, I got you.
Thank you. Y'all look at me crazy.
No, I figured it out. Nice one.
Thank you, guys.
Jamal Williams said only a handful of coaches' jobs are safe.
If you think about the coaches today, let's see, Steve Kerr, Spo,
Popovich.
Those are the only coaches.
Michael Malone.
Ain't Kerr on the hot seat right now?
You think Michael Malone's job safe?
I thought they said Kerr's on the hot seat.
The first three dudes you said, those three guys are the only coaches of the year that's still with the crew that they started with. That's it. Ain't nobody else.
I thought you said he was secure. I'm thinking they said Steve Kerr on the hot seat now.
Mike Brown got at least 3 seasons.
Yeah, Mike Brown's job is secure. Mike Brown's job is secure.
Let's Sacramento not make the playoffs next year.
Oh no, then he's gone. But right now,
if we don't make the playoffs next year, we ride it.
Yeah, let's see.
Right.
So let's chill out with that. Let's chill out with that.
Damn, man.
Ruger Red said, "Oh, what's up?
What's up? We slapping his milk dud. Get the fuck out of here.
You got it.
It's gonna be
Ruger Red said Harden to the Bucks.
No.
No. I don't want to.
Hey, Dub, don't
Giannis and Harden still hate each other. That's not happening. Giannis and Harden still hate each other.
I'm not 100% mad at that.
I'm not either.
If they keep Drew Holiday and replace Middleton, I do like that. That's not too bad.
I don't. Your defense is going to struggle.
Well, they already have a solid defensive core.
Chris Middleton don't be guarding up like
that.
He don't guard up like he used to. Get rid of Middleton. Put
Giannis is not co-signing a James Harden to Milwaukee deal.
He's sure ain't.
Just because they're a little back and forth there?
Yes, because James Harden called him run and dunk, man. And now
that's all he is.
He's not letting
all he is. This dude can't play basketball. All he does is run and dunk.
That's so sensitive.
And it is, though. I wouldn't want that book on my team either.
I would either, but not because of that.
And half the time, I've done 10 times more than he has. And he got the audacity to talk about my game. Man, bump you, bro. Go figure it out.
You got the nerve.
I'm not going to help you.
You got some nerve talking about my game.
What? You don't have respect for what I brought to the table. Go do it on your own then. You figure it out.
Talking about my game.
No way in hell he come to Milwaukee. I'm up there. The day he get there, I'm gone.
And speaking of which,
y'all better watch what y'all say to Elder, because you said the wrong thing to Elder. You catch on fire, he ain't gonna piss on you.
No, I wouldn't. No. No.
Speaking of which, Elder, somebody that is backing you, Styles Black, that is. He said, "Been a Suns fan for 30 years. We get Harden, I quit."
I'm out,
you, bro.
He said, "I'm out." You can't bring him over here. I'm out.
Elder, I didn't know that you wasn't big on Harden.
I'm not big on losers, bro. I ain't big on losers. Guys that just get out there for stats and do a bunch of that, but can't get over the hump. I'm not big on guys like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I take a lot of flack for the things that I give critical about LeBron, but the one reason why I was able to just receive him the way I did when he came down is because LeBron has won. I mean, I can't deny that. The man is great, and he's won. He's figured it out. So I'm with that. The game's about winning to me. I play to win. I don't know what everybody else plays. I don't play basketball to have
Wilt
fun.
or Bill Russell?
But Wilt is different because he was going through.
And to your point, Elder, like we can't keep losing and it's your fault while we losing.
Yeah,
that can't happen.
Then you got this laissez-faire attitude like Harden do. I just want to go out and eat honey buns and fly all over the world and kick it with rappers. And man, no, bro. No. I don't want dudes like that. I don't want dudes like that, man. I don't want to play. Nope.
You ain't serious. You ain't serious about winning.
You ain't serious enough.
You ain't serious. You say you are, but you're not.
Make your bag,
you know what?
Entertain the people.
If he goes to Milwaukee, we having Lil Baby on courtside every single postseason game. Every single
Y'all
game.
will be perennial losers with that book.
Not if Lil Baby out there. You see how he played with Lil Baby out there.
Loser too.
And then Lil Baby had a conversation.
I don't even know who that is actually. I mean, he's a rapper, but I don't know him.
When he dropped the 40 ball, Lil Baby was out there.
Him and Lil Baby had a conversation. I got the spot that we going to afterwards.
That's it. That's the only conversation they have.
I'm gonna turn Milwaukee up. But all right, moving along. NBA Lonnie said, "All of it sounds like pride to me. Don't want to let go of the first pick for nothing. Don't trade your star to prove a point."
He talking about the Phoenix thing, ain't he? Yeah, I think he's talking about that when we brought up about Ayton, how they had to re-sign him because he was the number one pick. That's what he's talking about. I believe that is about.
Lord Omega Gandhi said Pop traded Kawhi to Toronto because he didn't want to trade him to LA. Then Kawhi still left to LA after winning a ring.
Okay, first of all, number one, this was something completely different, my man. You forgot the reason why he got traded in the first place. He didn't force his way. He didn't initially force his way out of San Antonio. He had a knee problem, and they were handling him wrong. And they were handling him. He didn't force his way to go play with other stars. They didn't look at his health the way he thought that his health should be looked after. That's why he wanted out. It wasn't because he wants to go play with LeBron or some. No, that's not what happened there.
No, LeBron wasn't that. He wasn't in LA at the time. He wanted to go to the Lakers, but LeBron wasn't there then.
Right.
Yeah.
Pimp named Slickback said, "I think you are all ignoring how bad it is,
how hard
it is to get superstar talent. Stars know they are rare, and they curb the market.
No, it ain't.
Economics.
No, it ain't. You know why? You know why I know that? Because I watch teams build championship teams through the draft. That's why you hire smart people. So how hard it is to get superstar talent. Well, you draft correctly and you build there. What you talking about is picking guys out the league. Okay, this is a star, this is a star, this is a star, and we're gonna put all of these dudes on our team. No, it doesn't work like that.
Miami has been competing without our superstar for a while, and then we got Jimmy Butler.
You mean the first? I'm sorry, Dub. You mean the first? You mean the last pick in the first round over 12 years ago?
He wasn't even a superstar.
You talking about Bam, who was a middle first rounder? Is that what we talking about here?
It was a lottery. Bam was a lottery, wasn't it?
Bam was a lottery.
It was the 13th pick, I think.
The 13th or 14th pick. So he was at the bottom of the lottery.
So was all D-Wade. I'm just talking
that Kentucky team had 3 lottery picks that year.
Yeah.
The problem with people, they just instead of just building a culture, they just want to just amass talent. Like you need to build a culture first. If you're not building a culture to sustain greatness, when you do have that talent, you're not going to know how to handle it. That's the issue the league has.
You gotta talk that to Bob. You gotta talk that to Bob then, because see, old boy come in and trying to build a culture there and sat, and they said for whatever reason he don't make it. They slapping the milk dud.
Bye. Get him up out of here.
Slap the dud.
Culture. Man, we have one small failure. Miami,
you know what? That's true.
They stuck in there, and look what they're doing now. You got to be able to build a culture.
And you're gonna have up and downs. You're gonna have up and downs as a roller coaster.
By show of hands,
that's why we ain't never gonna be nothing, man.
How many of y'all had the Miami Heat back in the Eastern Conference Championship? Because I know I did.
I did.
Yeah.
Prior to the playoffs or prior to the season?
Before the season, before the season started, Mars.
No, I didn't think so. I think I had them second.
Before the season started. Before the season started, I was optimistic about him. As the season went on, I kind of wrote him off though.
So before the playoffs started, where you had him at, Big Eye?
Oh yeah, they were losing.
Oh, before the playoffs started, I was completely unsure. I can go back and see, but I don't think I had him. If I did,
we all
had
them losing to Milwaukee.
I didn't have him getting out that first round. Oh, matter of fact, that's what it was. I said it didn't matter who won that playing game because they're not beating Milwaukee anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I'm not going to lie. Last year I was caping for Miami. This year I wasn't.
Last year I had them winning it all.
Me too.
Cruiser Nation 3 said KD don't want Harden over there.
He don't.
I'm surprised.
Yes, he do. He don't care about winning. He just want to have fun with his friends.
You want a real leader though. That's what KD be looking for. He looking for real leaders, so he don't gotta do it. Yeah, so he don't gotta do it. Harden ain't no leader.
What super chat you talking about, man?
Yellow Imposter 23 said, Ron, could you read my super chat from earlier? Would like to know what y'all think.
What super chat is that?
Definitely super chat, Ron.
I'll help you.
Search for it. It's somewhere in the 300 up there.
Yellow. Is it this one? Is it this one right here?
Nah, that's not it.
That's not it?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's from the same guy.
Well, he sent a lot.
Yeah, Yellow Apostle 23 said Spo has been with the Heat since 1995. Him being there so long, as well as Pat in the front office, gives the Heat the stability to always be around. Do you guys believe that organizations should try to replicate that?
Well, the majority of organizations that were successful since, like you talked about, 1995, that's how they were successful, because they built it. That's why the Lakers were as good as they were. Pat Riley was there for 9 years as the head coach. That's not including him being on the bench as an assistant coach, right? So you're talking about Phil Jackson when he was in with the Bulls. He was there as the head coach for 9 years, but he was also the assistant for 2 years. So when you build in a system and you build in a culture, it doesn't happen in 2 or 3 years. It happens over the course of a lifetime. So you got to keep doing that. Absolutely.
I agree. All this constant chopping and changing of front office and coaching staff, you get no sense of continuity, and I think that's what shows in like the postseason. But I don't think teams are going to commit to that though.
Elder, can you imagine if what's going on today was going on back when we was coming up, like Larry Bird, Kevin McHale? Because just so y'all know, in '82 they were down 3-1 and they lost to Philly. After Philly came back and they lost to Philly, the next year against Milwaukee, they get swept out of the playoffs. They're 2 years removed from an NBA championship. If that's going on today, that unit gets blown up. Bird gone. One of these dudes, they're definitely out of there. So the Lakers in '83, they get swept by Philly in the finals. The next year, they lose in '84 with Tragic Johnson. That crew ain't together no more. James Worthy, Magic, somebody's going. If that was going on today, we do not have that. Fast forward to 1988. Fast forward to 1990 with Scottie Pippen when they lose in the Eastern Conference Championship in Game 7. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen are not together today. That unit is getting blown up. They're not together. Those guys, somebody is going. But they built it like that because that was the culture. You keep trying. Today, if it ain't this, it's over.
Yeah, they would find the piece that's missing. They keep the core. Find the piece that's missing. Add that small piece. Mm-hmm. Don't break the core up.
Yeah.
Add the small piece to make the core better. Man, nobody has time for that today for some reason.
Shaq told me, when you have the formula, you don't pour it down the drain. And they had the formula in Los Angeles with Kobe and Shaq.
They had the formula when they won in LA, when they had LeBron and AD, and what they did, they got Russ for no reason. They really got Russ for no reason.
Even before Russ, they got Schroeder. That didn't work.
Schroeder was good. No. Schroeder was good in 2021, and I do remember that season. He was good for y'all. Come on, you're not gonna do what?
No, he wasn't.
He was about to get that. He was getting to talk to getting that. He had a really good year in 2021.
The reason that the Lakers offered him that contract, because again, it was one of those scenarios where they had to keep that asset. And the reason, you know, why Schroeder turned it down, he didn't want the Lakers to have control. He knew the Lakers was going to trade him. See, if Schroeder signed that contract, guess what? Schroeder would be the starting point guard for the Washington Wizards right now, because they would have traded him to get Russ, and he knew that. And he didn't want him to control it, so that's why he turned it down, which was dumb on his part because he lost a bunch of money. But that team, Schroeder was not the answer for that team in that role, in that mindset, because Schroeder was trying to get paid. His number one mindset wasn't to win. His mindset was, I can't be viewed as a six man. I want the starter money. I need to be a starter. So that was his agenda. And you blew everything up.
You hated Russ coming to Los Angeles. Not Russ as a player, but you hated Russ coming to Los Angeles.
I knew the fit was horrible. I knew it was horrible. I thought Schroeder could have worked the first time if he had the right mindset. But when he came in saying the things he was saying and doing the stuff he was doing, I was like, this ain't the mindset you need coming in here, bro. These guys are world champs, and you coming in like you doing them a favor. Like they need you. No. And that's why I knew it wasn't going to work. Russ wasn't going to work just because he's a horrible fit. He just was a bad fit for the Lakers. I like him with the Clippers. I ain't going to lie. I think he fits. I think they should re-sign Russ. I think Russ should retire a Clipper.
Nah, I think Schroeder was great because let's not forget. I think in 2021 I thought he was good for that team, 100%.
Okay,
because in 2020 my bad. In 2021,
you dub, but he forgot the 2 in front of the 0 in the playoffs. Remember, he gave the goose egg.
Oh yeah, 100%. But you gotta understand, after AD got hurt, I mean, let's be real. Nobody expected that team to make it over the top versus the Phoenix Suns.
Hold on, aren't y'all the same one who was just saying You know, we got the surgeon and we got the assistants. The assistants got to step up in that moment. We didn't ask you to do it consistent. AD got hurt. I can't have you as the assistant give me nothing. You got to give me something.
I hear your point with that, but we're talking about in 2021, the LeBron and AD Lakers, when they won in 2020 and just replicating off of the LeBron and AD Lakers. Shooter for that team as a complementary piece to those two guys. I do think that was a winning scenario for you guys. Y'all just got hurt and got the short end of the stick. That's all I'm saying.
I got you. If we'd have been healthy, you think they'd have won with that?
100%. It would have been y'all versus Brooklyn, and I don't know who would have won that, but it would have been up in the air.
All right, fellas, I do want to actually talk about the Lakers today. First, the Nuggets today. In the series as a whole, I need thoughts, I need predictions on not just game one, but the series as a whole. And this is what we're going to do right now. I'm going to go around the room. I'm going to ask you who's going to win, in how many games, and why. Yo, Ox, we're going to start with you first. Talk to us.
My bad, Ron. My son came in here. Ask me again real quick, please. My bad.
Put him on the mic. But who's going to win, the Lakers or the Nuggets, and in how many games?
Oh, I got Nuggets in 7.
And why?
Man, it's because they're so. I think it's pretty evenly matched series. So that just led me to go to 7 games already. I would just give the Nuggets the edge, just basically because of Jokic's ability to. And y'all kind of brought it to my eyes yesterday. I think it might have been low. Just kind of, just everybody was having a conversation. Really brought it to my eyes how hard it is to scheme against a player like Jokic, and the difficulties that everybody's gonna have. Anthony Davis, Vanderbilt, all the guys. It's too hard to scheme against him. So I can just see him pulling it out in Game 7. And plus, on top of that, like, come on, bro, choose the Lakers.
All right. Bet. Dub, what direction are you going in?
For the series or for the game tonight?
For the series.
Lakers in 6, man. I had the Lakers or the Suns making it out the West, so now that the Suns are out of it, I got the Lakers making it out the West, bro. I just think that LeBron and AD and the Lakers crew will be able to add a lot of rim pressure, which that's what Jokic and this Nuggets struggle with. I don't think they'll be able to contain that. I do think that it's going to be a battle of the Lakers defense versus the Nuggets offense. I want to see how Jokic will be able to capitalize on facing a team of this caliber defensive-wise and see how he adjusts to it. And I think it'll be a great series, though. But I got Lakers in 6 or 7.
Elder Rufus?
Lakers in 6. Defense wins championships. I think the Lakers have a better defense. I think they have a more elite defender in Anthony Davis to head that unit. I think the matchups, if played properly, actually favor the Lakers. So I just think the Lakers are a better team. I know overall Denver's been more consistent as a team. They've been the best team in the NBA and all that good stuff. But I think the matchups, when you're playing the same team over and over and over again for 2 weeks, I think the Lakers have a better matchup against them if you're putting the right combos out there. So I think the Lakers in 6. I don't think 7 just because I can't do that to Denver. I couldn't pick the Lakers to go in there in Game 7 and win that game. So they got to do it in 6, in my opinion.
Got you. So Ox said the Nuggets. Dub said Lakers. Rufus, you said Lakers too. Chill. Who you got in this series?
I think the separator in this series is Anthony Davis slowing down Joker. He's not going to be able to stop him, but slowing him down and making it difficult on him. If he could do that and stay consistent, not just offensively, stay consistent with his game, I think they make quick work of Denver. I'll take the Lakers in 5.
Chitchat, I don't even know if AD can slow him down.
I think AD can.
I heard what you said as far as you're not saying stop him, you say slowing him down. And I hear you on that. My thing is, I don't even know if he can do that.
I don't think that Joker is that. When I think about a guy that elite, and I think about a guy in Anthony Davis with elite defense, I don't think that it's that big of a curve. I'm looking at Anthony Davis as a defender, his ability to defend on the wing, his ability to protect the rim, his ability to recover when he gets beat. Joker is not blowing by you. One of the main reasons why they had their way with Phoenix, Joker just outworked DeAndre Ayton in a lot of situations. It wasn't like it was a lot of half-court stuff where he was getting buckets and things like that. It was just a lot of rim running, just outrunning him burying KD underneath the bucket or getting offensive rebounds and putbacks. Stuff like that was the difference in that series, I think. Now, when you talk about Anthony Davis, just as a defender, I think he slows a lot of that down, which now we get into the half court, and now you're looking at Anthony Davis having to basically just stay in front of him and not – Joker is not going to blow by him, I don't think. In terms of Joker knocking down the long ball, that's either going to be in transition or a set play. And if he's going to do that all night, you got to live with that. So, again, I'm thinking about the idea of just slowing him down, not stopping him. And I think if Anthony Davis could do that, I think they make quick work of Denver.
Okay. Mars, thoughts, predictions, and why?
I have positively no idea what's going to happen in this series.
Mars, I swear I am.
This series, to everyone in the chat, I'm probably going to be called a flip-flop because after every game of this series, my pick might change. That's how up in the air it is for me. I started watching the 2020 series just to see how everyone looked. And the biggest thing that stuck out to me is AD wasn't Jokic's primary defender. They used him. They used JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard on Jokic more so than Anthony Davis. And I don't think they have the personnel to use AD in that way now. And also, Jokic is just so much better now than he was 3 years ago. His touch around the rim is so much better. His passing reads are more consistently sharp. He makes better passes now. He was probably faster back then. He was a slimmer build, but now he's more physically imposing. In the post, you don't really push him off his spot anymore. So, everything is telling me Denver in 7. That's what everything's telling me. But I might change this prediction after game 2. Every game in this series, depending on what adjustments I see get made as the series goes on, my prediction can change. That's how on a knife's edge this series is. But I'm gonna go with Denver in 7, but don't expect me to stick to it.
Okay. My next question, we're gonna go right back around the room. Who's the biggest X factor in this series? Just in totality? Now, obviously, you're going to give me one player from one team, but I got to hear the player from the other team, too. So I want to hear who's the biggest X factor just in general, but then I also want to hear the other X factor from the other team.
Aaron Gordon for Denver. I think Aaron Gordon's defense on LeBron is going to be crucial. His ability to make his jump shots consistently, because I feel like the Lakers are going to concede Aaron Gordon jump shots more than anyone else. And then for the Lakers, I think the real X factor for them is probably going to be Austin Reeves. I think his perimeter creation is going to be crucial to the Lakers, because I think a LeBron James and Anthony Davis interior attack needs to be leveled out by some sort of perimeter creation, whether that be Austin Reeves or D'Angelo Russell. I think they need to have big series to keep the Denver defense stretched out and just honest. I feel like if you can load up on those two guys of LeBron and AD, I think that makes the game easier for Denver. So I think those two have to have big series. So Aaron Gordon and D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves.
Okay, Chill, who you got?
I think that I think that these are two rotation players. Mike Malone has shortened his rotation to 8 guys. I think he might expand that, but if he keeps it the way it is, I think Uncle Jeff Green, I think he's going to be big in this series. Him being able to come off the bench and get him quality minutes, and on the other team, I think it's Rui, because Denver speeds the game up. What he can do to capitalize on that, being a good transition player that he is, he can capitalize on the Lakers speeding up the game too. So I think those two guys can be huge X factors in this series.
I wasn't making my face at you, by the way, Charles. Looking at the super chat, so just wanted to put that out there. The super chat is why I reacted that way.
Which super chat?
The one that said, has Jokic had the best 3-year span ever?
No, never.
Yeah, see, you made the exact same face I made. I just wanted to.
That
was a crazy.
What's the opposite of yes?
I heard us no.
No.
I would say, as far as X factors go around, I think it would have to. For Denver, I would say Jamal Murray. I don't think anybody on the Lakers could guard Jamal, and I think he has to take advantage of that. I don't like the idea of can you take me up to tight zoom, bro? I don't like that.
Why y'all be so nervous in the tight zoom?
Because I'm not about to say nothing profound, bro. I'm just
I can tell what type of guy Ron is, bro.
Yo, all right, come on, give it take.
Why you keep doing that? What's wrong with that?
Just the tip. so Jamal,
I'll plead the fifth.
So Jamal, yeah, I don't think the Lakers have anybody over there to guard Jamal. I don't think Vanderbilt can guard Jamal. I definitely don't think D'Lo or Dennis Schroeder can guard Jamal Murray. I think Jamal Murray has to take advantage of that, take a little pressure off of Jokic, and carry the squad. As far as the Lakers side go, man, I don't know. Probably say Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, one of those guys. D'Lo, one of those. I'm sorry not to have one certain guy I can't think, but either one of those three, I would say if they could step up at maybe not all at the same time, but if one of those three at individual times can really step up and give that 20-point, whatever they might need, that spark, then I could see it happening for them. But they definitely need at least one of those three guys to step up every single night.
Got you. How are you feeling, Elder?
I think the X factor for the Lakers, I'm gonna go right off of what Ox said. The key though for them is to continue to control the guard play. When you look at what they did against Memphis, I think that backcourt's scarier than Denver's backcourt. When you look at Ja and Bane, when you look at the next round they got against Clay and Steph, I think that's scarier than Denver's backcourt. So the Lakers just have to show that they can continually, from that position, control those dudes. If they can control the guards and make like a Murray work his tail off to get the points he gets, like they did with Steph, they're going to be fine. The X factor to me on the Denver side of it, because I believe Anthony Davis is going to be elite moving forward, so I'm not picking him. So just the Lakers controlling the guard play like they've done in the other two series. For Denver, what's his name? Bruce Brown?
Yes.
For some odd reason, man, when I watch him, maybe y'all may have a little bit more info on him and the Lakers are a team he just loves to play. He goes berserk against the Lakers.
He's a pretty good player, huh, Elder?
Huh?
He's a pretty good player, huh?
He's very good against the Lakers. Now, I don't see him do that against a lot of other teams, but boy, when he gets rolling against the Lakers,
it's always a team that's like that. It's always a player like that. Always.
Like Isaiah Thomas or something. I'm like, who is this dude? So he's the X factor to me. They got to really contain him. He's the X factor. If he comes in and plays well as a supporting role, and they can get that regular production, Lakers in trouble.
I'm glad you brought up Bruce Brown because I was actually about to say that. I'm not even going to hold you. For as much people love and praise this guys, if he's really this deciding factor. All right, Bruce Brown is our X factor.
Wait, you don't think Bruce Brown is good?
What do you mean? He's like,
is this because of your KD agenda?
No.
Then what is it?
I didn't even like him on Brooklyn like that.
That's why I think.
Hey, you know what vibes agenda. Bruce Brown give me?
How's that KD agenda? What?
Because KD had Bruce Brown. You want to say KD ain't have help, but Jokic makes Bruce Brown look good. Because Bruce Brown to me is a very good player.
Bruce Brown had a better series against Boston than he's had against the Phoenix Suns.
But he's a better player in Denver than he's in Brooklyn.
Hey, the vibe he gives me. The vibe he gives me is, y'all know how the Clippers play against the Lakers? The Clippers look like the best team that ever was created when they play in the Lakers. That's the vibe Bruce Brown gives me against the Lakers. He gives me that same vibe. So that's why he's an X factor to me. I don't need him going on for 25 a night. I don't need that.
So, yeah, I think the X factors for the Denver Nuggets is Bruce Brown, according to y'all. You know, he's just such a good role player. So, you know, if he don't perform well, you know, he's going to be such a deciding factor. And then KCP is a good one for the Denver Nuggets if he's hitting his shots, playing defense at a high level, challenging Reeves and Dennis Schroeder. I think that's going to be a big X factor for those guys as well. And then the Los Angeles Lakers, D'Angelo Russell and Lonnie Walker. I mean, if D'Lo's hitting his shots, hitting his threes, getting to the basket and playmaking off of that, I think he could be really crucial for this series. Lonnie Walker, if he continues to go on the stretch of hitting the big shots, hitting the open threes, just being a threat out there on the court, it could change the outcome of the series. So those are my guys, man.
I'm going to go with two guys that nobody mentioned. And the first guy for Denver is Michael Porter Jr. If he has 3 games, they only need 3 games from Michael Porter Jr. If he could show up for 3 games and give him 20, it's going to tip the scale a lot. Now, obviously, I know he's real inconsistent and he's somewhat of a cone on defense. But if on offense, if he can make up for if Jamal Murray doesn't have a big game, or if Jamal Murray has a big game and he contributes with them, I think it's hard for the Lakers to match that production. And then for the Lakers, hey, Elder, believe it or not, I'm going with Dennis Schroeder. I think if Dennis can, and it's not just scoring for Dennis, it's just being a menace, picking up Jamal Murray full court. Yeah, you really got to be Dennis.
Dennis the Menace.
You really got to be Dennis the Menace. He got to pick up Jamal Murray full court. He got to get steals. He got to live in the paint. He got to knock down those threes. Dennis will really pull up in ballsy situations. He'll pull up a three and it'd be like, Dennis, why'd you shoot that? But if he makes it, it's a momentum swinger. So it's like Dennis is that guy where he got to really make crucial and big time plays. And I think like Dennis might be the one to either sit what's his name on the bench, D'Lo, or him and D'Lo turn up together. But I think he got to actually be the best point guard in this series. Not aside for the Lakers, he got to be the best point guard.
I like that because Dennis actually surprised me. He's actually played very well in my opinion in these playoffs, and I love that him getting suspended. I mean, kicked that other game. I love that type of stuff. I love that, man. Don't back down from
that's
nobody.
Part of it, yo. That's part of it. I ain't gotta take that from you. No, I ain't gotta take that from you. No, I don't have to, and because it resonates throughout the crew. Yeah. You know, we ain't gonna take that from you. We not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right, fellas, we got about 30 more minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and run down these super chats.
30.
15, my bad, Dub. 15. We gonna run down these super chats.
Yo, I'm like, what?
My bad, Dub. I know you got things to do. I don't want to run into.
Hey, Dub is my man, yo.
Like
I dig me some Dub, yo, for real. Dub is my dude, yo, for real.
Appreciate you too, fam.
Hey. Fluent is watching this right now.
Mars gonna tell us that Mike Tyson was Muhammad Ali was overrated. Dub about lost his mind.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
What is happening right now?
Hey, for real, Mars, that's still to this day my favorite Player's Choice clip ever. Aside from the Bama clip, that one was insane.
I was cooking that day, man.
Dub was like, "Am I in the Matrix? What is going on right now? What is happening?"
The craziest thing, bro. And they were just rocking with it. Like nobody was saying that. Like, is everyone serious?
Go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good. Hey, we had to bring that gym back up. All right. Reggie Red said, I blame one person. Paging ticket. I blame one person. LeBron Ramon James. He made this entire team jumping culture acceptable to the masses. Yep. Go my ass.
Yep.
Promise you ticket finna come jumping.
Chitchat hates Reggie Reg, fam. He hates him.
Donovan Samuel said, all this player movement seems more about brand building than winning.
That's what it is.
It is.
That's exactly what it is. Yep. 100%.
Jimmy Two Shoes said, Bud got fired for Giannis missing 13 free throws.
No, he did not. No, he didn't. No, he did not.
Yo, Ox, you see this picture?
with the lip out, big eye.
Oh man. Oh, that's gold right there. That's beautiful.
Oscar Proud Jr. said, ticket. Poole lost more than 5 games as the guy. Lost to playoff teams almost every time. Four turnovers a game. So screaming 25-1 ain't saying nothing for the Warriors, especially versus below 500 teams.
I mean, I think we all know Jordan Poole is the number one option, or the best player on your team is not going to get you very far. I think we all know that. So
yes, 100%.
Jay said, wait, so chill. You didn't have a problem with the Celtics and Lakers having 4 to 5 Hall of Famers when Dominique and the Knicks could never get over the hump.
Now, just so you know, in context with that conversation, we were talking about players jumping from team to team. So my man, so we clear, Jamal Wilkes was signed as a free agent to the Lakers. That's number one. Jabbar was traded to the Lakers. They got Magic in the draft. They got James Worthy in the draft. The Boston Celtics basically handed over Bob McAdoo for a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack. So this wasn't guys just jumping on the one crew. That was smart GMing. That's all that was. So that's not the same thing, not even close. Bob, what you doing, yo?
I don't got no hands. No hands, man.
Can't drop them.
I can vouch for that. It was a time where I just had to stop passing the ball to Ox.
And we started losing games.
I mean, things happen.
And I said that last super chat. And just so you know, my man, Dominique Wilkins Doc Rivers said the difference between James Worthy and Dominique Wilkins is James Worthy had Magic Johnson, Dominique Wilkins had me. So
Oscar Proud Jr. again said the NBA is full of shot makers, not necessarily real hoopers, top to bottom.
That's not true.
That.
That's not true. Not true. They play ball, fam. Like, let's not disrespect these guys.
They're ballers. They just don't care like the old school used to.
Exactly.
They business. I mean, come on, man. I don't want to bash them, but man, y'all, this generational wealth we talking about. Our generation wasn't talking like that. You good to get $1 million, $2 million. Man, I understand why they have to have a business mindset. What I want, though, is even if you own a business and run it, guess what you got to do? You got to show up. You cannot participate.
And work too. And work too.
And do your job. That's
all. My generation get me so mad, bro. That's why the workplace is so fucked up now. I mean, this is why the workplace is so messed up nowadays, bro. Because there's a bunch of people that
suspension incoming for you, though.
There's a bunch of people that work at. There's a bunch of people that work, but they don't even care about their own job. It's like, bro, at least take some pride in the work you do, bro. Like, it's not. That's just people in general nowadays. I don't like that, man.
I had a woman tell me this back when I worked. I had a woman tell me one time this back that I was working in. She was like, "I'm only making $20 an hour." I said,
"Only?"
That's what I said. Only?
Damn.
Like, how much more you want?
This what she said to me. You wouldn't understand. See, you already got a lot.
Always playing that victimizing.
You're here by choice.
Oh my God.
She said you're here by choice, and I'm like,
shut up. Just shut up.
You know, like I couldn't get it, man. I couldn't relate to her.
$20 an hour is a lot of money. That don't include time and a half.
Yeah.
That don't include
people
time
get
and
paid.
a half.
People get paid $25 to $27 an hour and still say the same thing. Like, bro, shut up, fam. Like, y'all
crazy.
That's a lot of bread,
lazy people.
Yeah,
bro.
fam. Shut your mouth, fam. All right, Donovan Samuel said. It's sad to say this, but it's almost like the NBA needs to operate more like the NFL.
I don't know what that means.
No guarantee,
non-guaranteed contracts,
contracts, stuff like that.
I think they should do that.
A lot of the money up front.
Before it happens, I can tell you that right now.
Franchise tag players.
Never agree to that.
Think about that, Elder. I hear you, but they gonna get on that basketball court and play. We might have a rocky season. We might even miss a season, but they gonna miss that money. They're gonna get on that basketball court.
I'll tell you this: the way stuff is now, they would go try to start their own league before they see that. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say at the very worst, it'll just be a step down in talent. Elder, you might see me catching 5 minutes a game. It'll just be a step down in talent, you know. I think that season is past.
All right, so Pimp named Slipback said, laughing my ass off. Look at how Kyrie treated the fans. I've been a ticket holder for 12 years. I don't like Joe Tsai, but Kyrie spit in the face of the fans here. Miss me, Dub. Dub, you can miss him.
Dub. I don't even know what he's talking about. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Appreciate the super chat though. I'm sorry.
Anastius said all terrorist team. Poole, Ayton, Clay, Dre, Joel Embiid. Verse all Taiwan team. This is crazy. Dylan Brooks, Chris Paul, Dwight Howard, Harden, and Cat. Doc Rivers.
There's no way Julius Randle makes neither of these teams. There's no way.
Wait, Ron, keep it up. I want to see the teams.
How is Julius Randle not on one of these teams?
What is this Dylan Brooks? The only reason why we're talking about Dylan Brooks like that is because what he said about James, and he underperformed in that series. Just so you dudes know, Dylan Brooks is starting in Phoenix today. He's a starter on that unit, 100%. You dudes talk about him like he's about to be out the league. No, he is not. I
agree with that. He's not going to be out the league.
No, he is
Julius Randle, I think he just needs to change the scenery. New York.
Yeah, Taiwan has great scenery. Go over there.
we have. Well, I can't say 28. We have about 26 other sceneries in the states. Well, one of them is another country, but we have 26 other sceneries he can go to without going over to Taiwan. I think he's still a great NBA player. I really do. I do. He's just in the wrong situation. He is.
Jay Third said, "Who's guarding the paint for Denver?"
Bruce Brown.
Tell him. Jay Third is. Jay Third, you guard it, bro.
Lonnie.
Jeremiah said, "Welcome back, Morris."
Thank you. I've been back for a while, but thank you.
Where it go?
We got
Mars. That might be another fake viewer.
I told you, Elder, he got put in the back room. That belt came out, and it was. I heard the screams. I was like, "Dang, Morris!"
Yo, I heard the screams. Yo, moving along. Drink more water. Said with the lottery. Drink more water. Said with the lottery today. I have a bold prediction. After doing some homework, Brandon Miller will underperform as an NBA player. I get Josh Jackson vibes from him. He's going to be an Otto Porter Jr. type of player.
He's Jabari Smith version 2. That's what he is. He's Jabari Smith Jr., but he's a better playmaker and worse defender. They have the exact same ceiling of player. They're not going to be high level all NBA caliber players. They're role players. That's what they are. They're going to be role players. Which is good, just not with the number.
I do think Jabari Smith's going to be an all-league defender at some point. I do think that.
I agree. His defensive ceiling is very high. The offense
but drink more water. What homework did you do to come up with that analysis?
He copied my Jabari Smith Jr. take and just added it to Brandon
How do
Miller.
we compare
the influence,
Josh Jackson, who's out the league,
gone,
to Otto Porter, who's a 10-year vet? We noticed the guy that's in Houston now. He's gonna be
Jabari
around.
Smith.
He's gonna be around. Josh Jackson is a head case. That's the main reason why he's not in the league. It's mental things going on that why teams don't want to deal with him. I don't get the two comparisons. Besides, maybe this dude is super talented and athletic like Josh Jackson. I don't know the dude. I ain't following. But
yeah, Josh Jackson was a lot more. It was a lot more fit. It was a lot more of a physical profile with Josh Jackson. Brandon Miller's a more skilled player. I don't see the Josh Jackson comparison because Josh Jackson. The question with him was the jump shot.
Like a mental dude, though, slow.
I mean, he did. Brandon Miller did have that off the court issue with the
gun.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I remember that. That's him. Okay.
I don't know if that's where the Josh Jackson comparison comes from.
Yeah. Well, I've been hearing a lot of people say PG. He's 6'8".
No. The handle is not close to that.
Maybe not, but at 6'8", being able to shoot and just being a skill player, that's his comp that I've heard from a lot of people.
Can he play defense?
He's okay. He's not great. He's okay. He has he can be a solid defender, but he won't be anything.
Because you knew Kawhi was elite coming in defensively. You knew that, so he ain't that dude.
Nah.
Okay.
All right, fellas. Couple more super chats I want to get to. What you say, gang? Said, man, forget that. If superstars ain't working in a game 7, you gotta use the bench. Ain't no way.
It's not what we were saying. Not use the bench.
But you also got to remember too.
They can't replace though.
Right. I mean, you got to go with who got. There's a reason why we in game 7. You got to go with who got you there.
Absolutely.
D Smooth said today's superstars are not superstars. They are bums, like Ox said. There's no more KG, Kobe, Dirk, AI. Ticket is right for cooking these fake superstars.
Wait, I swear, I thought he was listing Ticket as one of those superstars. You see how like the comma, and it said like AI, Dirk, Ticket. I was like, shit. Check the boy out.
I don't like the bomb comment though. I like his super chat. I have a hard time calling NBA players bums, bro. These are the best 450 players.
Especially elite big men, especially elite players, like the elite ones. Yeah.
If Kevin Garnett today left his team to join the super team after missing the playoffs for 3 straight seasons, he'd be criticized. So,
yeah.
I mean that with all due respect, you know.
That's you can't mean that with all due respect.
Hey, honey, with all due respect, you ugly.
Well, honey, with all due respect, you acting like a. You feel
honey,
me? Like
with all due respect, that haircut.
Sometimes that's a term of endearment.
That bum is not a term of endearment.
With all due respect,
no, the other one.
With all due respect, you are ugly.
I just hate.
I'm saying though, we talking sports. We talk.
I slip up every now and then, but I don't.
You know, we talking hoop. I'm not talking like we on the block. Like I'm not disrespecting you. I'm just saying like you two. For a player of your caliber, y'all see when I say bum, I'm only talking about these guys. I'm not calling no role players no bums. If they do something, I'm just like that's weak. I'm saying for players of your caliber, when you start doing stuff like that, that's just bum shit. Like this.
Well,
none of them are real bums. They all got
I get that.
And now Joel.
But real quick,
Joel's a bum.
Do you guys see what he's saying? Do you guys see what he's saying?
What are we doing? What's happening right
So
now?
I'm trying to go.
That
I'm trying to
doesn't make
shift.
sense.
I'm trying to shift.
What are we doing?
My bad, Elder. My bad.
Did y'all see?
Oh
did y'all
my
see the little interview with DeRozan and PG?
I saw a clip of them. They were bonding over getting swept by LeBron. That was crazy too.
I thought. Well, they were asking him about when LeBron made that tweet about his son being better than some guys in the NBA.
Right.
And that jacked me to listen to DeRozan and PG. These are chiseled veterans, been in the league forever. Say that there's at least 100 guys in the league that fit that category. He said they don't even love playing. They are, and like they would agree with. I was like, to hear NBA players currently playing say that about a quarter of the league. You got 400 guys. They said up to 100 guys is this.
It's probably more than that too, Elder.
And I was like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was like, and you want me to respect this era? And I'm hearing these guys say it. And they go, see, these guys played in the old era too. Remember, these two guys started in the old era. And they respect it way more than what they're seeing now. 100 guys don't care, don't love the game, don't want to be out there.
Well, Draymond said it.
What in the world?
Draymond said it that he comes to practice and okay, I can pick out. Okay, this guy don't work hard. You don't love the game. Okay, you don't care. Here, you can see it right from the beginning. So I don't think that's crazy to think that. And a lot of these guys look at the game like it's just a job. That's all it is. It's just a job. I show up to work, I do my job, and I leave. And I hate that too, Elder. I hate that. I hate that too.
That guy will never get you over.
I hate it too.
Guy instantly.
I hate that too.
He's
I'm
gone.
not a fan
I don't
of
care
that.
how talented he is.
Yeah,
he's
I'm
gone.
not. I don't like that either.
Hey, Mars, them bonding over getting swept by Bron is crazy. That's like
it was ridiculous. I was literally watching them bond like, oh, you got swept. Yeah, I got swept too the year before. Like, bro, what's going on?
They
Mars,
got Stockholm syndrome, Mars.
I don't know what was going on. They were just like, oh yeah, LeBron just owned both of us. Yeah, cool.
Hey Mars, you remember when that dude kicked my ass? He kicked your ass too. He kicked mine too.
That's crazy.
That takes me back to high school.
Yeah, they were
you ain't seen it.
Demar was talking about 2018 when they got swept and LeBron made that bank shot game winner. PG was like, yeah, I got swept the year. He made me leave Indiana that year. When I got swept by him in 2017.
Them brothers got Stockholm.
They were laughing about it.
Yeah, Demar was like, yeah, that's when I knew I was out of Toronto. PG was like, yeah, the same thing happened to me. I was out of Indiana after he swept me. I'm like, what?
But you see what I'm saying? No, I see that's the type of I can't get behind nothing like that. I can't get behind that brand of basketball, that brand of thinking. It's you wired to just accept
like
that
cheering
you're not good enough. That is a bum mentality, bro. That's like me and you. That's like me and you being in Seattle, and you see a chick on Pine Street. You go take her to lunch. Next day, I see her on Pine Street. I go take her to lunch, and then we going back and forth, and then come to find out she playing this, and then me and you sitting over there talking about, yeah, man, I bought her this, I bought her that. She played me too. That made me do this. Like we sitting over here bonding over getting work. Like this, that's egregious.
What should happen is what would happen back in the old day when you realized you couldn't beat them. Guess what you did? You just joined them.
That's it.
That's what they would do. That's how you got Ron Artest with him, and you got
can't beat them, join them. So
shoot everybody. You just join them and win chips with them. That's what you do when you're a role player on that level like that, and you realize I can't get past this dude. Go join him when you become a free agent.
Hey Ron, I gotta bounce.
All right. Hey, we all gotta bounce. It's about that time. Same time tomorrow. Hey, you guys, it's an important game tonight. We're gonna see. This is tonight's gonna tell us a lot. It's gonna tell us a lot. But
offense or defense.
We gonna see what it is. On the way out, talk to us, fellas. What you gotta say?
I'll be back when we have the number one pick. I'll be back.
I'll see you on 3 minutes.
Take it light. Take it.
Salute.
All right, fellas.
Hey, y'all go grab his book from Viola Davis. You know what I'm saying? She talks a whole lot about her life. You know.